Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and it's Tuesday, and we got a hell of a show on tap for the nation today. I saw down in the comments from my guy Martin, Mitch, please distract me from our political debate over in England. I feel the exact same way here in the United States here, Martin. Now, we got a fun show on tap. I know that yesterday we talked about turning this one into a shit show, so I'm just going to ask y'all from the jump. Are we doing this or are we not doing this? Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. Are we trying to get a little bit weird today? For those that do not know, I got a bachelor party. I got a flight tomorrow, so today is the only day that I'm going to be live for the remainder of the week here on the Raiders Report, which means the next time that y'all are going to see me is going to be on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, I will say this. If any breaking news happens from the time that I am gone, y'all better show out and show up for Jeremy Chugs. That's all I'm going to say, because if breaking news happens, it's going to be Jeremy up here, and I might be able to zoom in for my bachelor party in the Poconos. If anybody's living near the Poconos, well, that's where I'll be, someplace near Blakesley from what it sounds like. Now, we're going to be talking about Raiders OTAs. We're also going to be looking into our crystal balls here at Raiders mandatory minicamp and some of the big storylines that are going on around that. On top of that, I have done a lot of different segments on this show around like extension candidates, cut candidates. Well, guess what? Today, I'm going to do surprise trade candidates for the Las Vegas Raiders. That's all on tap for the nation. Now, we got a lot of different deals, got a lot of different things coming up here live on today's show. These are the three segments that we're going to be doing. And if you want, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat, get those questions, comments on the show. My first question out there to the nation is, who has been the biggest winner from Raiders OTAs thus far? Is it somebody on the offensive side of the football? Is it somebody on the defensive side of the football? I also want to give a special shout out to Blaine Craig. Blaine's birthday was yesterday, and it was all me. I told Blaine I'd wear the jersey, and obviously I told a lot of other people I'd wear some jerseys too. So I wanted to be able to wear the Blaine jersey today. Happy birthday to Blaine Craig, one of the OGs here amongst the Raiders Report. Robert Jansen says, Navman wants me to check my Venmo. Well, speaking of Venmo, $20 Venmo, and you guys can get in for a chance to win some money today on the show. I'll also say this. We're going to do a special deal. We're also going to be giving away a Raiders Report jersey. So first place, you get the money. Last place, not only do you get the butthole pick, you're also going to get a Raiders Report jersey here on the show. The deals that we have going on today, Jeremy, which we'll get into here in a second, but yep, one guy who's always down to clown. Navman, where the hell were you yesterday? Navman! Bang! The first one of the day. Navman tying it up now for the June bang race. And I said if you guys want to get a little bit wild today, I'm down to get down. Every hundo, we're doing a beer bong. First time Super Chat. We'll get a little beer cheers going. Once we get to 100 likes, I'm going to put a free spot on our Boot Hall of Fame. Maybe we could fill that up today and give that away as well. If you want to get your name on our Boot Hall of Fame, $10 Super Chat at Mitchell Renz 365. Shout out to Navman. And if you want a shout out here on the show, not only do I want you spamming 93, I also want to know who was the biggest winner from Raiders OTAs thus far. And on top of that, good news. He's back.
Hey, what's up?
Yesterday, a common super chat, which shout out to Trace for pulling up and showing out love. Common was figuring out the nickname for Trace. So we heard Walmart Chugs. We heard Dollar General Chugs.
Timu Chugs.
What?
Timu Chugs.
You know, I said that yesterday, and Trace looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, am I saying it wrong? I don't know if I was saying it wrong. I have no idea.
It's Timu.
Timu? Okay, fair enough. Now, man, you're a crazy mother effer, man. Crazy mother effer.
I mean, we got Jerry, Luis, Yoda, King Javier, Ron Raspberry, Raider Prime.
I'm trying to get after it today.
I'm for me, believe.
I'm trying to get after it today. Navman's trying to get after it today as well. Shout out to one of the GOATs here, Navman. Holy shit.
Vinthrak is in the building.
Something wild just happened. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with this next thing. Do I tell you what happened now, or do I tell you what happened after our first segment? What do you guys want to know?
Did you send it to me?
I did not send it to you. I haven't sent it to anybody yet. It's it's a large something happened. That's all I'm saying. Something happened. Do I tell you now?
You would be the worst person to call a 911 operator.
Oh, absolutely.
What's happening?
Do I tell you now?
Do I tell you now, or do you want to hear about the Raiders OTA news and rumors first?
Oh, man. All right, I am seeing a lot of nows. I'll tell you this. We got ourselves a brand new MVP, and to the person that just did what they did, I need you to message me what number you're looking for, and then a last name, because that's some wild shit right there, Chugs. Some wild shit right there.
Wild West.
Yeah, it's first time also, I think, that he's ever done this. This is now they've hit. I'm just going to tell you right now, the gong has been hit before by this person, but I don't know if they've ever done what they just did here, because this one's rolling in from Ed Robbins. I forgot to warn you. Ed Robbins! Let's frickin' go, Ed! Are you shitting me, Ed Robbins? Ed Robbins has been on a frickin' tear, and for those of you that do not know, two things. One, the Chat Sports basketball team got a win yesterday. Two, Chugs took a charge, and I was told today he might have concussion-like symptoms. So I told Jeremy I would warn him when I hit the gong. Totally lied. We're 5 minutes into the show.
Yeah, it's
That's on me.
It happens.
That's on me.
It happens.
You know what, Ed? I poured up this boot for Zahn. Zahn messaged me today and said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I'm stuck at work. Ed, as far as I'm concerned, man, I'm pouring up a boot for Ed. If you don't spam Ed Robbins, then I want you to act like a Robin and fly somewhere else. You're not wanted here.
Yeah, or I want you to act like a Robin and ruin the season finale of How I Met Your Mother.
Yep. Let's be honest. That's probably one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
You love Barney.
Oh, Barney's my guy. However, though, the worst ending to a show that's, I don't know, 5+ seasons, How I Met Your Mother.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I didn't mind that one, actually. I know a lot of people were upset about the final season because it's just pitch black. But, like, comparing the two, no. I don't even think it's close. I loved How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother's last season is the worst season of all time. It's terrible. They even know. They're like, you know what? We got to wrap this up. We got a tight budget. We got to wrap it up here.
Hey,
Ed,
let's go.
it's going to be an interesting day. I can already tell you.
We got Big Papa. We got Bo, Yoda. We got Ron Raspberry, Martin, Jake Serb, Ruthless Raider, D3 TV, Aaron Dotson, William Vernoy Jr., all in the chat. Doreen, Jake Serb, all rocking and rolling with us. Can't Control Life, Juan Hernandez.
Come on, Ed Robbins.
Let's go.
Come on, Ed Robbins. Are you kidding me, man?
Little Ed and Eddie action.
Dude, I'll tell you what, Ed. So, Ed, he got a jersey from last Friday's show as well, and he said, I want Papa Robbins on. He's going to donate, or like basically give it up for his dad. So now, Ed, I got to know, are you getting an Ed Robbins jersey now? Because these are the things, man.
He wanted you to read the Venmo, I guess?
Read it? All right, I got you.
And speaking of Venmo, if anybody else wants to get in a 50-50 raffle at the end of today's show.
I'm adding $100 to this race right now. So you got whoever. If we only get one person in, you're going home with $120. Shout out to Ed Robbins. Shout out to Nabman for getting this party started?
Oh, ruthless. That's a good question. Maybe unpopular take. I think I would go New Girl.
What?
He said, which is better, New Girl or How I Met Your Mother?
See, I like How I Met Your Mother.
New Girl's really good.
See, I am such a fan of Barney, and like Barney's character in How I Met Your Mother makes it for me. I like Ted. Like, it's a good show. I'm also a big Jason Segel fan, but like Barney's the guy in that show. All right, so Ed Robbins says this. What's the difference between Dak Prescott and a dollar bill?
What?
You get 4 quarters for $1. I don't get it.
He's saying Dak chokes in the fourth quarter.
Oh. Okay. You get 4 quarters for $1. I got it. Ed. Ed, I'm not going to lie. That one was right over my head, but luckily I got Jeremy Chugs here. Also, since I'm not going to see y'all until this game ends up going down, Celtics Mavs on Thursday. This one, I tell you, it might end a few people's chat sports careers. I don't even know how else to say it.
I don't know.
Friendships might be ended over this basketball game, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I got to know, on Thursday in Boston, who you got? Celtics or the Mavs?
From Boston.
Dude, that boot right now there, Ed Robbins, is kicking my ass.
Porzingis park the car in the Harvard yard.
That was really good.
What?
What's a better Boston movie? I heard them talking about it out there.
Best Boston movie of all time, Ted.
Really? I cannot agree with you on that one. I think my favorite movie of all time around Boston is probably The Town.
The Town.
The Town. I don't know if I've ever seen The Departed.
The Town.
I've seen The Town.
Jack gives it 2 thumbs up.
What was that? Who you guys got, man? K-Rock's also going to go with The Departed.
Would y'all be mad if I told you I haven't seen either of those movies?
What? The Departed or?
I haven't seen The Departed or The Town.
Wow. That's wild. I mean,
Petey's looking at me in disgust right now.
Petey, I can't believe that you've never seen those movies. It's probably, it's got to be up there. It's got to be up there, man. F Boston from Evil Chugs. Hey, you know what? Some people might say that. F Boston. Also, y'all, I want to do a good job today of getting some questions up here on screen. So if you want, hashtag Raiders, we're going to get some of your questions up here on top of all the super chats. Ventrack, Goodwill Hunting. How you like them apples? I don't know if I've ever seen Goodwill Hunting. I don't know if I've ever seen that movie.
It seems too boring. I don't want to watch a guy do math problems on a chalkboard.
See, Alex has watched every movie under the sun. So I just don't. Ventrack, I know. I don't think I've seen it.
Ron said, gotta go with Boston for Allie.
That's fair. I did say I got the Celtics in 7. But I also, to me, I feel like if I root for the Celtics, I'll be also happy if the Mavs win. I mean, no matter what, I want a Game 7.
I mean, your team's not in it, so either way is okay with you.
Yeah, I don't think the Raiders are playing for an NBA title anytime soon.
Knicks.
Yeah, I root for players more than I root for the Knicks. Like, I'll tell you that right now. However, though, on top of that, like this playoff series, I've been rooting for both the Celtics and the Mavs because of the watch parties we've been doing here at Chat Sports. So the fact that it's both of those teams, it's going to be a hell of a clash, man. Going to be a hell of a clash. All right, y'all, we got a Venmo deal going on today. $20 to get in the duck race. Last place. First place gets the money. Last place, you're going to get yourself a Raiders Report jersey like the one I am wearing right now, unless you also want to hit the gong like Ed Robbins and just get one yourself, which it is an option for some of the people out there watching this show right now. Ed, I hope you're okay with this. I'm just going to put you in the race anyway.
Evil Mitch and Evil Chugs are saying pay the bills, Mitch, which I don't know what that means. Is that a reference to yesterday?
Pay the bills?
Yeah, Evil Chugs and Evil Mitch just said that.
Well, considering if I had to guess it's the same person, maybe there's an inside joke that I'm not getting.
Are they talking about wipe them feet, or is that what that is?
I have no idea. What's the bill? What's the bill? Honest question. What's the bill? Because I don't know.
Douglas, my marriage ended over the Xmas Day game. It was worth it.
FKC, man.
Holy shit.
Rob Fravor, you in. Noah Santana, you in.
That's hilarious.
And then I also see Salvador Lucas.
Happy late birthday to Zelesbo as well.
Zelesbo, your birthday too.
She said, missed yesterday's show because it was my birthday.
How many birthdays are there? I mean, literally, I get home yesterday and I see a message from Blaine, and Blaine's like, hey, it was my birthday yesterday. I'm like, I guess just everybody's born on June 3rd.
That means all your parents.
Yeah.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Charles G., you, sir, are also in. Right now, you would win, as it stands, $150 with a $20 Venmo.
As Mitch said, he'll be gone on Thursday and Friday and this weekend.
Yep.
Bachelor
Kind of
party.
wild.
The real question is, what should Mitch buy his buddy first at the bar? What should be the first drink? What's the opening drink that you buy? Bachelor party, boys are out, they're all going to town. What's the first drink that you buy to set the tone of the weekend?
To me,
Jaeger bombs.
I see. No, I'm not going to
Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bomb, Jaeger bombs. Or Vegas bombs.
Vegas bomb is an interesting one. I'll say I usually don't buy crappy shots for people unless it's like their 21st birthday or if it's like your bachelor party. Your bachelor party is the next excuse where I'm allowed to buy you like a crappy shot. Like, I think it's okay buying some guy like a blowjob shot where it's like got whipped cream on it, you got to bend over, you got to knock it back. I also think it's okay to buy like the 5 J's, which I've seen a bunch of people do back in my college days, which is like Jose.
Not all mixed together, right?
It's Jose, Jim Beam. It's like 4 or 5 different liquors in one shot. It's horrendous. I'm trying to think of all the J's. I forget all the J's in there, but yeah, it's not good.
Flaming Dr. Pepper.
What the hell's Flaming Dr. Pepper? 5 J's? Jameson, Jack, Jaeger, Jim Beam, Jose Cuervo. All in one. It's horrendous. It's bad. Yeah. I will not buy anybody. I won't buy anybody Everclear.
Or if you want to be a real
friend.
A real friend is the way to put it.
No, friend.
You could give him a pop shot, and it's like
Oh.
liquor and then Sprite, and they take the shot.
A pop shot?
Pop it on the bar, and it makes it fizz up. It's really fun.
A pop shot?
Yeah, it's called a pop shot.
I don't think they're going to have those in the Poconos.
Sprite and liquor.
Poconos, they're going to have Ram's Piss. And if you can drink Ram's Piss,
Piss.
if you can drink Ram's Piss, you can drink anything. I mean, that's just the way that it goes. What's up, Taino? Cheers to Jacob Surd, Ron Raspberry.
If you want to put some hair on his chest,
on his chance.
maybe you just start off with some Rumplemans.
The only way I'm drinking Rumplemans is if Tri-Van shows up. It's the only way I'm drinking Rumplemans. That stuff's horrendous. Tri-Van, I love you, but that stuff's bad, man. What should I buy my buddy? First drink at the bar.
I see Jaeger bombs. I see Mountain Jack Baby.
What the hell's Flaming Dr. Pepper? Just Dr. Pepper and Fireball? Is that what that is? Flaming Dr. Pepper?
Let's see.
Abstinent? No. Adios Mother Effer. I've heard of that drink before. What the heck is an Adios Mother Effer? Adios MFer drink.
Flaming Dr. Pepper is Amaretto, Everclear, and Bacardi.
Interesting. All right. See, these sound good, so I might have to... Sancho says Flaming Dr. Pepper is good. All right.
Somebody said Flaming Dr. Pepper is fire.
Makes sense. Liquid marijuana. That's actually the first drink that somebody bought me at a bar for my 21st birthday. It was a liquid marijuana shot. Pretty good. It's literally fluorescent green. It's very, very sweet. Very, very fruity. Evil Chunks. Rank the defense if we have Travis Hunter. I mean, he would be your number one corner. I think Travis Hunter is going to be a corner in the NFL. I don't think that he's going to play two ways in the league. I think it's a cool story to have in college. I do think that he's going to be the best as a corner at the next level, but, I mean, is he ready to play corner at the NFL level right away based off what I've seen? Yeah, he could probably get some reps in, but our defense, I would say, would be ranked exactly what it is right now because I think he does need another year in college football. Patrick B., any quarterback news? Any news on spending our money for a free agent? Honestly, no. The only update that I got today was on Jackson Powers Johnson and kind of like what are the injuries that he's been dealing with. And I'll discuss that a little bit here coming up on the show because we've been sitting around waiting like, what the heck's going on with JPJ? I was lucky to get a message today, so that one was pretty cool. Quarterback news, Aidan and Gardner Minshew love competing against each other. Sounds like the quarterback battle has been a good one for both of them. They seem to be both really into it. And then on the money side of it, no, we have no updates whatsoever. The Raiders are at about $34 million in salary cap space. I was expecting them to be at $41 million after the $24 million they got from Jimmy G. But if you remember, the Raiders also gave Max Crosby like a $6 or $7 million bonus, which I think maybe that's where some of that money got taken out of the salary cap. But no news that you're looking for, I guess, right now. I do appreciate, though, the $20 super chat. And with that, I'm going to add Patrick B. here to our Boot Hall of Fame.
Speaking of the Boot Hall of Fame,
yep,
we hit 100 likes. So every time we hit 100 likes on today's show, we're going to give one spot away on the Boot Hall of Fame. All you got to do, we're about to talk about the silver and black, the Las Vegas Raiders. So who can spam LV the most right now?
Also, some very random news. N'Keal Harry, they're going to switch him from wide receiver, and he's going to play tight end this season, apparently.
The classic, you suck at wide receiver,
Yep.
Why don't we move you to tight end trick?
There you go. Hey, there you go.
Works 20% of the time, every time.
I mean, N'Keal Harry, former Arizona State guy, rejoin Antonio Pierce in this 12 personnel. Call me crazy. It's crazy. I'm totally kidding, by the way. All right, Chugs, who's spamming LV the most? And then let's get into our first segment here
I'm gonna have
on
to
the
give
Raiders
it
Report.
To Raider Prime.
I mean, I'm just going to put it down as Prime. I'll tell you what, if a Raider Prime jersey would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. I actually also just got a jersey for Raider 831, and I was able to get the number 831. Not going to lie, it's a pretty sick jersey. Definitely one of a kind, I'll say
You
that.
should take it to the doctor.
Oh, boy. Well,
Oh.
Sometimes I want to know. I just want to know what you guys do sometimes because you guys are all nuts. Though I'm always down for a good shit show, and I think today is going to be a good shit show. No! Santana! Bang! What's up, No?
Just know, if I was rich, y'all would be in some serious trouble. All love, Raider Nation.
Jeremy and I, we talk about this probably at least once a day before we go live, and we were talking about it before, how we were like talking about like the drinking and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why we started doing Friday happy hour, in all honesty, was because we started doing this show, and every single day, it'd be like Monday, people were like, do a boot. Tuesday, do a boot. Thursday, do a boot. Do some beer bongs, drink some Fireball. And, it was fun to do for a few months. I'm not going to lie to y'all. And then it got to a point where we're like, holy shit, you guys want to party every single day. So, believe me when I tell you, I'm happy some of y'all don't do things like David Zahn does on this show. Now, I appreciate every single time that you guys support the show. I know a lot of people enjoy watching this show. I was talking to Nico Laz the other day, and he's like, I think one of my favorite things about the Raiders Report on Happy Hour Day is it's like anything can happen at any moment where it's like, this is a casual Tuesday show. Now, we did say we would get turned up here a little bit, but then you get a guy like Ed Robbins, you get a guy like Noah Santana, 93 Nabman, and you get a normal Raiders show, and then it just turns into a shit show real quick. So, like, believe me, I'm happy that y'all aren't rolling in it either, else I would be in even more trouble than what I already am. So, shout out to Noah Santana. If you haven't already, make sure you guys click that like button. Show Noah love, a little bit of love down in the comments. What do you got for me from Rebel?
I'm 15 minutes late. I'll do a lemon shot as a penalty. Only if you want to, Rebel. Only if you want to. It's okay.
No, I want to see a lemon shot from Rebel. Lemon shot from Rebel.
But it can't be fake lemon. You have to actually find a lemon and squeeze it into your mouth.
Well, like, what do you mean? What is fake lemon? Like
from a bottle. Like you have
okay.
to. I want to see it from the source. I want to see you milk the cow.
So you're telling me if you go to the store and you buy, which I love, it's literally it's like that lemon. You know what I mean? It's like lemon juice in the lemon. That's not real lemon juice?
It is, but not for this. I want real lemon.
He wants you to cut the lemon and then open mouth. You have like a lemon squeezer?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that's what Chugs wants. That's what Chugs wants. Though I never used the lemon squeezer until I met Alex. That's a real story.
And then after that, started using it on the lemons. Brian Darr.
True story.
Hey, guys. Been a while since I visited live. What's up, Brian?
Brian, it's all good, man. You guys, anytime you get free time to watch the live show, I appreciate, obviously, when you do, and especially in the off season. You know, like earlier, somebody was like, "Can you start the live show? I'm bored at work." We're trying to get you through. We're trying to get you through the dog days, man. What's up, Jordan? Imagine if we drafted Josh Allen, Brian Burns, or Montez Sweat, number 4 in 2019, at 4, and had Max Crosby. I mean, I'll say this. I feel like if the Raiders do that, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, my question is, though, if we do that route, is Max Crosby what Max Crosby is? And the only reason why I'm saying that, like, Max would have found his way on the field, right? He was already starting to impress in 2019 in the offseason. And the reason why I bring this up, because I actually was talking to a Raider fan. I met a Raider fan here in Dallas a few weeks ago, and we talked about this of honest question, right? Because everybody goes back and like, oh, I wish Cleveland Furrow wouldn't have been a bust. I wish we would have drafted one of these 3 guys. But because Clee was a bust, it opened the door for Max to get extra reps and for him to, you know, learn how to be a defensive end in the NFL a little bit quicker than maybe he would have had an opportunity to. I mean, if you draft one of these top 3 guys here, it makes it that much more difficult for Mad Max to be able to figure out a spot to get on the field. Because that year also, Benson Mayowa had 8 sacks, right, as a veteran. Like, if Cleef does not struggle and if Arden Key does not struggle, I don't know. I'm not saying Max wouldn't be the player that he is now, but I don't know if it would have happened as quickly as what it did. So, yeah, I would love to have one of those 3 players, but at the end of the day, if you told me we get Max Crosby at the number 4 pick in Cleveland Furrow in the 4th round, I'm okay with it, right? Like, at this point, I'm already so far moved on from 2019 looking ahead, but there's definitely been times where I'm like, man, this defense could be special. The other thing with your Cole question here is you could do this for, imagine if we didn't draft Henry Ruggs at 12. Imagine if we didn't draft Damon Arnett at 19. It goes on and on and on with the Raiders and their first round picks. But Jordan, cheers to you, man. Anthony
Parks, are we going to beef up the olives since we have money to spend?
I mean, I would say, when you get an olive, pit in or pit out?
Pit out.
See, I'm actually not that big of a fan of olives, but I had some the other day when I was out with Alex with the pit in at this one place. Very, very good.
Oh, wait. At the one place?
That one place.
Whoa, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you.
That place is good.
I want to say it's called Green Light. It's Green Light something. It's a really nice restaurant.
Yeah.
It's in
Pit
Dallas. Out. Also, though, are you a green or a black olive fan?
Ooh. It depends. Mediterranean food?
Oh.
Black.
Okay.
I feel like on like a charcuterie board or on something like that, green.
I think I agree. What about pizza?
I'm not big on olives on pizza. I am big. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, I wasn't really big on olives before. Don't love them on pizza.
Okay.
But you know what they are really, really good on? Muffalata. Have you had one?
What did you just say?
A muffalata.
That sounds like something between two legs.
It's Trace isn't in there. He would know, but
What did you say?
a muffalata.
That's not real.
Look it up.
There's no way.
Look it up.
Muffalata. That feels like one of those names that you're trying to get me to say and just be like, oh, you like Wendy's? Like, that's what this is.
I'm looking
Muffalata is Wendy's.
looking it up right now. Look it
All right.
up.
In terms of the O-line, though, we got down a tangent here. The offensive line, I would say the only way that the Raiders really do truly beef up that O-line is if they're worried about the Jackson Power-Johnson's injury. He's dealing right now with a soft tissue injury. I was told that it was a hammy, which I still want to be able to get more information on it. I know he's dealt with like groin and some other like injuries like that last season a little bit from time to time, but I was told today it was a hammy. So we'll kind of keep an eye out on that. But if Kolton Miller and JPJ's injuries are legitimately scaring the Raiders, then I would say, yes, you could potentially see them spend a little bit of extra money and go out and get an offensive lineman. But it's early June. I don't really think the Raiders are going to hit the panic button / they don't have to disclose injuries to us. So I think we're going to be okay. If we're going to spend money, I would say it's going to be more going out and getting a corner. Muffalata, New Orleans sandwich. What the hell is on this?
It's like a
ham.
It's got a ton of meats on there. It's on a certain kind of bread too, and they put this olive tapenade on it, which is like chopped up olives. It's almost like a pico, but like different. It's like
I know what you mean.
Chopped up olives. It has a lot of seasoning, some oil in there, I believe some onions maybe.
Yes. I mean, it does look good.
It's good.
I'm not going to, I mean.
But that's what kind of started me on, I didn't like olives. And then I had one of those sandwiches, and I liked it.
Okay. Muffalata.
So I started to try olives again.
I think I might just go get one.
Maybe it's a muffaletta. Maybe not a lotta, it's a letta.
Jansen, soft tissue injury, must be another concussion. No. I was told that it was not a concussion, that it is a soft tissue. Patrick B., this offseason is completely different from the past 20-plus years. AP has already installed our culture and chanting, Raiders! The players are practicing on their own. Our direction is finally moving forward. And, I think you heard it again today from a guy like Ricky Manning, Raiders cornerback coach, was speaking about just the totally different mindset of being able to go out there and have a good time. Malcolm Kuntz said that it's been a lot more fun this year. And I think it just really comes down to being able to go out there and enjoy what you're doing. Like, that's what separates good teams from the great teams. And the Raiders are a team that nobody thinks that they're going to be very good this season. Now, we do. But you look at the mass majority of the media out there, I mean, they're projecting the Raiders at 7-6 wins this upcoming season. And I get it. You don't have a quarterback, and that scares off the national media because that's what people talk about, quarterbacks. But, like, at the same time, the Raiders are a team right now that I do think are going to shock a lot of people just because of this mentality that they're going to go in there, they're going to try to beat you up, they're going to try to play old school football.
They're 4-1.
And they're 4-1 in Madden, most importantly. Evil Mitch, Niners never admit Crosby is better than Bosa. And I don't expect 49ers fans to admit it because here's the thing. I can look at a lot of things in Nick Bosa's game and I can go, he does some things better than Max Crosby. I can also look at a lot of things that Max Crosby does and I go, he does a lot of things better than Nick Bosa. Now, I will sit up here and say that I will take Mad Max over Bosa because to me, if you put number 98 on that defensive line that the San Francisco 49ers have had, you're going to get more results. On top of that, I think when you look at two players that are just so equally matched in terms of what they're good at, right? They're both top 3 defensive ends in the National Football League, top 5, no doubt. Myles Garrett, TJ Watt deserve to be in that conversation. So what's the one tiebreaker for me? Availability. One guy has missed a lot of time. The other guy is not. That's why I'm going to take Mad Max over Mr. Nick Bosa. We got 365 people here watching the Raiders Report. If you haven't already, make sure you guys click that like button. Once we get to 200 likes, we're going to add another name here to our Boot Hall of Fame. And we are getting awfully close to filling up that bat boy right there. Also, our Super Chat menu is this. If you're a first-time Super Chatter, we do beer cheers. We cheers it all up. Everybody watching the show right now, if you're over the age of 21, you're taking a drink with us. $10 Super Chat, you get on the Boot Hall of Fame. Every hundo is a bang, and you are added to our June Bang race, which right now, Ed Robbins, Rebel Montana, Venthrak, and Navman are the only people on it, though. Ed, he's got the lead. And then reminder, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. You're going to have an opportunity to win a little bit of money. Because Ed and Navman got the party started, I put an extra $100 into this race right now. So as it stands at this current moment, I see Raider Sancho is in. At this current moment, we got 6 people in this race, $20 Venmo to win $160 here on the Raiders Report is how we're going to do it today.
$160 already.
$160 already for a chance to win. It's going to be at the end of the show, though. It's going to be at the very, very end of the show. $160 to the person that comes in first. Whoever comes in last place, you get yourself a Raiders Report jersey. So right now, to the 6 people that are in, you got a hell of a deal going on right now. So here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to start with our Raiders OTA winners and losers. Then I'm going to get into my surprise trade candidates because Raiders got 91 guys on the roster. After OTAs, right before minicamp, what if the Raiders decided to trade away a player to bring in somebody else? Who knows? We've seen crazier things happen. And then I got some of the storylines in the minicamp news that you need to know because it's wild. But minicamp starts next week, man, and I'm super excited for Raiders practices to get going. OTAs are fun. You learn a lot more, though, about your team at minicamps. And then after that, 3 days of practice, then the next thing coming up is training camp. Training camp then is when it really gets going.
And then?
Jeff Garcia said, Mitch, today's my 55th B-Day. Can I get a bang? Jeff, so here's the thing, Jeff. I got to make rules on this show or else, you just get way too committed to a bunch of things. So here's what I'm going to say out there to the nation. If anybody is willing to bang for Jeff, giggity, that's the deal. If somebody right now throws in a hundo, we're going to sing happy birthday and we're going to bang for Jeff here on this show. What up, Eric? No question. Just showing love. Can I get a Raiders? You know what, Eric F? You absolutely can get a Raiders. And Eric, we're going to add you to our Boot Hall of Fame here, Eric F, which we're running out of spots here. I'm going to say we got maybe, and I mean maybe, 5 more openings on this boot. We're running out of spots. Eric F, you on there. You on there. Shout out to Jeff, man. Happy birthday to that man, Jeff. You remember that guy that hit the gong? Well, that's... all right, F it. Let's do this. Coming Raider! Bang!
Whoa.
I know.
You wanted it for...
I still got to say common. This just means I get to do 2 bangs. Jeff Garcia! Bang! What's up, Jeff? What's up, Common? That's some GOAT shit right there, man. That's some GOAT shit right there. Ed Robbins is a GOAT. Also, I got to give a major shout out to Common. Common Raider, there ain't nothing common about him. And you know what? Who else did it? I just want you to say, Common, not only was it you, but also this happened. Ed Robbins!
Dolphins!
Bang! Ed, are you kidding me right now, Ed? Ed's a madman. That means I owe 2. So how about this? One more bang, and I'm going to do a boo after the next segment that we do. I also got to get in a few other people here in for our duck race because I think people now are realizing how good of a deal that it is. Norman Hernandez is in. Robert Ortiz, you in. Stanley Holmes, almost as good as a Stanley Nickel, in. My dad, Richard Renz, is in. And then we're going to give Ed another spot here.
Has Richie ever won?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I can find out.
I don't remember him ever winning.
I don't know if my dad has ever won.
Vinthrak, could you repost the Madden schedule? Vinthrak, if you go to any of the games on the channel, like any of the prior Madden streams, it's like one of the first things we show.
Yep. Patrick B is in twice. Yeah, I want to say, like, because our next Madden Sim game, guys, isn't until, like, next Thursday or Friday. Right? It's like next Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Something like that. Patrick B, you in. Right now, y'all, $20 Venmo. You would win $230 here on the Raiders Report. Also, whoever comes in last place, you get yourself a Raiders Report jersey. I am, at this moment, rocking a Blaine Craig. Yep. Venthrak, shout out to you. All right, Chugs. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Live Oakland. I'm not going to lie. His comments do make me laugh at times. My wife's husband won't let me in. I don't know why. That just gets me. It does. It gets me. We are one bang away from a boot. And if it happens while I'm doing this segment, I'm going to get you guys a boot after this cut here. All right? You ready?
I'm ready.
You guys ready? Let's actually get into some Raiders content here on the show. Coming up, OTA winners and losers here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And on today's show, we're going to be looking at Raiders OTA winners and losers. The Silver and Black, 10 practices in total. First practice started all the way back on May 20th. Final practice is going to be on June 6th. But what I like to do with this show is kind of just illustrate some of the players that have been standing out. And I'll be real with y'all, in the offseason, this is more of best shape of life season. And when you get into the best shape of life season, there's usually a lot more good reports than there are bad reports. So we have a lot more winners than we do losers here. And I'll be real, even the losers are not so much of them practicing bad, but other guys showing out and putting them on a little bit of a hot seat. So if you don't know when the Raiders organized team practice activities were, here's where all the dates. We had 10 days in total, no live contact, but 7-on-7, 9-on-7, and 11-on-11 drills are permitted. This is just the time of the offseason where players and coaches can get, just accustomed to each other a little bit. You just got to go in there, try to learn the offenses. You can't really go out and really hit anybody, but just being able to go there, get some competition in. I do think OTAs is really built more for your rookies, your UDFAs, and for the Raiders, who are a much younger team than some other teams out there in the NFL. I think OTAs are a pretty solid thing. So I got 5 losers, but I do have 10 winners, and I have them ranked for you. Speaking of a ranking, if you ain't first, you're last. And right now, I am in a June sub battle with our 49ers report here at Chat Sports, and we're down. And quite frankly, if you want to lose to somebody that says bang, bang, Niner gang, that's up to you. I'm not losing to them. So I don't know what deal I got to make sure that we get more subs this month than the 49ers report. But go tell your Raiders friends, do you like the 49ers? If they answer no to that, Tell them to subscribe to the Raiders Report, because I'll tell you this, I ain't losing to these freaking people right here. So coming up here on the show, we're going to get into the OTA losers first, and then we're going to go to the winners, simply because when I ask Alex, hey, do you want the good news or the bad news? She's always like, give me the bad news first. So first, we're going to go through the OTA losers, then the winners, and like I said, I have these guys ranked, and we're going to start from 5, work our way down. 5 is you're a loser. I mean that in a nice way. 1 is you're the biggest OTA loser. Let's go to number 5 here on the show. It's Ameer Abdullah. And I'll be real with you, I haven't heard anything bad about Abdullah in terms of what he's bringing to the table this upcoming year. And I think that he's going to be a third down back, pass catching ability, but also offers you a little bit on special teams. So Mitch, why is he a loser? The reason why Ameer Abdullah is a loser is because Dylan Laube has really been impressing people, and I'm starting to wonder, even though the Raiders brought Abdullah back, could you potentially see them cut Abdullah just to keep Dylan Laube, and that way you can keep another player on the roster? Let's go to number 4 here for our OTA losers. It's Anthony Brown, and based off of reports and based off of messages that I have received, Carter Bradley, the Raiders' UDFA quarterback, has outplayed and outshined Brown, and seems like he's been able to pick up this offense run by Luke Getsy a little bit simpler. Let's go to number 3 on our list. It's Jackson Powers Johnson, offensive lineman, and this guy has not practiced since May 21st. He left that practice early with an undisclosed injury, but I am making this video just so y'all know on Tuesday, June 4th, and on June 4th, I was told that he's dealing with a soft tissue injury. Now, the message I received said that I believe it's a hamstring injury, cannot confirm 100%. I do know that he's dealt with hip and groin issues back in 2023. The concussions where I was worried. Based off the message that I received today, it is not concussion related. It is soft tissue, which I don't like soft tissue injuries, but my biggest concern around Jackson Powers Johnson was the concussions, and I'll admit I was a little bit relieved once I got that information. So based off what I understand, it is a hamstring injury, still not 100% confirmed, just because the Raiders and all NFL teams don't have to tell you what the injury is, but I was told it was a hamstring injury. So with that being said, and it's not because JPJ did not do work when he was out there on the field. He was doing work. But for a player that fell out of the first round due to injuries and him now already being banged up, in my book, that makes him a loser at Raiders OTAs. Whether you want to agree with me, whether you don't, I don't quite frankly care. This is my opinion, but here's your opportunity to let me know your opinion. Scale it 1 to 10. What is your level of concern with Jackson Powers Johnson? 1, it's Mitch. It's freaking June, man. I ain't worried about it. 10, I'm really starting to worry and want to pull out my hair. It's going to be the pinned comment on today's show. Scroll on down and give me your answer. My level of concern for JPJ right now is a 6. And the only reason why it's a 6 is because of my expectations for him, the knowing of he needs to be healthy for this offensive line to succeed. He does have some injury issues in the past. Like, if this was August, it's a 10, right? Like, this is a starting offensive lineman as a rookie that's had injury concerns. I want JPJ out there. Dude's a freaking beast. Dude's a monster. And that is probably more of the reason why I am a little bit more concerned. So, Jackson, hope you're okay, man. I want to see you out there 100%. Let's go to number 2 here. It's Darian Butler. And Butler has yet to practice. He has yet to participate. Another player that's been battling some injuries throughout the entirety of his career. I know he's got ties to AP, but a lot of the other linebackers have been looking pretty damn good. And on top of that, Tommy Eichenberg, he's going to be the middle linebacker backup to a guy like Robert Spillane. But that means the biggest Raiders OTA loser to me is Michael Gallup. And I don't think a lot of people amongst the nation will put Gallup in this list, but I'll also say this. There's not a single person that has a Raiders podcast, that is on Raiders radio, that is anything Raiders related, that has the inside information that we do on Gallup, because we got a Cowboys guy here at Chat Sports that's very well tied in. And knowing Gallup's injury past and knowing that we were told that Gallup basically has one leg and that he has yet to be able to find the football field due to some injuries, like, that does scare me. And to me, that does make me nervous at Gallup because, yes, the Raiders did sign him to a 1-year deal, up to $3 million. but it's up to $3 million. They can get out of that contract if he's not 100% healthy. And with mandatory minicamp right around the corner, like I'm making this video on Tuesday, June 4th. Mandatory minicamp next Monday, so 6 days from now. I'm just telling y'all right now, like that's when the physicals have to happen. If Gallup fails that physical, that makes him even bigger of a loser. The reason why he's a loser is because he was unable to practice, and a lot of the wide receivers were unable to practice, and that just gives more extra time, more reps to guys like Brock Bowers, and that Michael Mayer is going to be an interesting target. Trey Tucker, also going to be an interesting target to throw out there. Coming up next here on the show, though, we're going to get into the good part, the part that I actually like. I don't like calling any Raiders player a loser. That might surprise you. I am a very honest person. I'm a very open book. I think it's why the Raiders Report has grown up to close to 170,000 subscribers, but man, it's June. I don't like calling anyone a loser. We're going to get into the winners here in just a moment. Before I do, you're a loser if you don't get your dad anything for Father's Day. If you're a dad out there, maybe you're a grandpa, and your son, right? Maybe he's a dad. If you don't get your kid anything and he's a dad, you're a loser on top of that. Now, I know that buying stuff for your dad, it's tough because I'm kind of the same way as my dad. I'm like, I don't really need anything. I'm good, right? Like my dad's the king of save your money, we'll spend it when we're together. And I appreciate that, don't get me wrong. But I also think that there's nothing wrong with once in a while, you see your dad, and maybe you're going to a Raiders game this year with your father, and maybe you're going with, I don't know, your grandpa, whoever it is. Get him something special, and we got some awesome Father's Day stuff at chatsports.com/RaidersDad. I also think that pictures are sometimes the greatest gifts that you can give people because they're able to not only, like, you go to a Raiders game, but then you hold on to that memory for a really long time. And if there's any dads out there that are, well, we'll just be real, a little confident in yourself, you're feeling pretty good, I made a special link for all the DILFs out there, chatsports.com/RaidersDILF. Just saying, if you think that you're a DILF, you can click that link as well, which is also going to be available to you down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Happy Father's Day. It's coming up very, very quickly. All right, here we go. Raiders OTA winners on the offensive side of the football. I'm going to go with Michael Mayer. He dropped 10 pounds. He looks a lot faster according to reports, and he is going to get some usage in this Luke Getsy offense because I know Bowers is going to get a lot of attention, but I actually think that Mayer might line up more than Bowers at the natural tight end position. A lot of 12 personnel. Mayer's about to have himself a hell of a year. Let's go to number 4 here. I'm going to throw in the quarterbacks here of Aidan O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. Very good, healthy quarterback battle, but then I also think you got to throw in Carter Bradley. I'm going to guess if the Raiders were to keep 3 QBs, which they're probably going to keep 3 QBs, the QB's not going to be Anthony Brown. It's going to be Bradley, and one person at the Raiders facility, I'll say, told me that you can tell that Carter Bradley comes from a dad background of being in the NFL. For those that do not know, Carter's dad is Gus Bradley, former Raiders DC back in 2021, and that he just has a deeper level of understanding of how defenses work, which is very important for practice squad quarterbacks, which is what Carter Bradley might end up being if he's not on that roster for the 53-man. Let's go to number 3 here. It's Brock Bowers. And Bowers, the moment he stepped onto the field, whether that was rookie, minicamp, whether it's OTAs, he is impressed. He has shown that he is a Swiss Army knife. He's one of the best players on the Raiders roster already as a rookie, and he's just a great addition to this offense. At number 2, it's going to be Dylan Laube, the running back out of New Hampshire, 6th-round pick. Laube has really, really opened a lot of eyes, and early on in the OTAs, he was able to work one-on-one with Raiders running back coach Carnell Cadillac Williams. His special teams ability has also been very impressive. His ability to catch the football. What's really going to limit Laube is if he's bad at pass blocking or if he's unable to hang on to the football. But I'm telling you this right now, Laube is really, really opening some eyes. And then, to me, the biggest winner on the offensive side of the football, it's got to be Thayer Munford. Munford, to me, was a player that a lot of people were like, I don't know if he's going to start this season. I don't know if he's going to be the Raiders' starting right tackle. And all the Raiders have done this entire offseason, whether it's Antonio Pierce, James Craig, Luke Getsy, has hyped up Munford over and over and over again. And it sounds like he is no doubt going to be your starting right tackle, getting predominantly all the snaps at right tackle. He's your main guy. to me, he's got to be the biggest winner from OTAs on the offensive side of the football. But let me know down below, who has been the biggest winner from Raiders OTAs? Now, I only mentioned the offensive side of the ball. We're about to get to that defensive side of the football here in just a second. So maybe somebody's down there like, you know what, Mitch? I don't know if somebody on defense or on offense is the biggest winner. Why don't you let me know? Luckily for you, it's exactly what I'm going to do here on today's show. So coming up, we got Raiders OTA winners on the defensive side of the football. But to me, the biggest winner on offense and on defense, I think it's actually also Thayer Munford. And the reason why I'm going to throw in that little nugget in there is because Kolton Miller's injury. I know Kolton Miller, if he's injured, the Raiders are planning on putting Andres Pete into a situation. I actually don't know if that's 100% certain. If you're Thayer Munford and you get an opportunity to potentially play left tackle for the Raiders this season, yeah, it might not be what we want, but for him as a young man, I mean, that's a really good opportunity. It also opens up the door for a guy like DJ Glaze, who the Raiders drafted in round 3. Let's go to the Raiders OTA winners on the defensive side of the football. Malcolm Koonce got to be on here. Now, he spoke to the media on Tuesday, and he was a humble leader. He might not admit that he's a leader, but you could definitely tell that this coaching staff is relying on this young man right here who's getting ready to get into his 4th year in the NFL. He's drafted in 2020 in the 3rd round and really took that leap forward last season. He's got the spark. He's got the leadership. He's got a lot of good things going for him in a contract year, and he really showed out during OTAs. Let's go to number 4 here. It's Christian Wilkins. And time again, people talk about how good Wilkins is, the energy that he brings, the charisma, it's contagious. But then also, it was said during Raiders press conference on Tuesday that the one player that hustles more than anybody else, Christian Wilkins. And, you know, one of the reasons why I had Wilkins as my number 1 player that the Raiders should sign once Justin Matabuke ended up getting franchise tagged this offseason was because of the energy that he brings. And it does not surprise me that the Raiders spend big on Christian Wilkins. You got a leader like Max Crosby, and you got all these guys that just love football. Loving football in May is not easy, especially when you're making millions of dollars, because for a lot of these guys, it's a job. Wilkins is bringing that energy. You can tell that he's a hell of a football player, and he's going to make this defense one of the best in the biz. Let's go to number 3 here for our OTA winners on defense. It's Tommy Eichenberg and the rookie linebacker. I mean, Antonio Pierce has already said that he might get a green dot, and to hear that type of praise right away is very, very encouraging. Also, Eichenberg was the only rookie linebacker at Raiders rookie minicamp, so he got a little bit of that extra head start. You could tell that he's an intelligent player, another guy that just absolutely loves being around the game, loves football, and the fact that they drafted him this season is kind of a mold of Robert Spillane, makes him a winner. Let's go to number 2 here, 7th rounder, Trey Taylor, safety out of Air Force. Now, this has probably been one of the players that a lot of people have been wondering about because he won the Defensive Back of the Year award for Best DB in college football last season, but has really showed his versatility not only as a safety, but really in special teams. And Tom McMahon, Raiders special teams coach, kind of harped on this a little bit where it's like, if you want to make this roster, I don't care if you're a 7th rounder, if you're a UDFA, if you're just that bubble player, Taylor's going to make it no matter what, but you got to have that versatility, and he's showing it on special teams. To me, though, the biggest winner on the defensive side of the football, it's Tyree Wilson. And I made a show on the Raiders Report earlier in the week about Wilson and just, you know, how special of a player he is, how he's having a good OTA, and how, quite frankly, I just don't think that people should be sleeping on him. And in fact, if you want to go check out the video that I made on Wilson, because I said this, he's going to shock the world. I was told by multiple Raiders players that Tyree looks like a alien out there. And all it's going to take is for a guy like Max who's working with him, because if Tyree puts it together up here, and then he lives up to the hype on top of Malcolm Koonce, Max Crosby, Adam Butler, John Jenkins, Christian Wilkins, all these other players on this defensive line, we can have the best defensive line in the NFL. And from what I hear, it sounds like Tyree's starting to put it together a little bit. So because of that, I'm going to go off the notes that I have and say that he's the biggest winner from Raiders OTAs because he also has some of the most pressure on him. So again, if you want to go check out that video, I'm going to put it up here on this show right here. For those of you watching live, I'm not pointing to anything, but for the people that aren't watching this live, you'll be able to click on something right here. So one more time, let's roll through our Raiders OTA losers. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. Don't be afraid to tag Chugs and I on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. My guy, Jeremy Chugs, he is at Jeremy Chugs on Twitter. Now, I would rather you take a screenshot of the winners on offense and defense because, let's face it, that's what OTAs is. You get a lot more good news compared to the bad news. The good news, though, is this. I'll also say the Raiders defense as a whole, I probably could have put in here because one of the other notes that I just continuously got, which doesn't surprise me, it probably doesn't surprise any of you, is this Raiders defense is definitely ahead of where the Raiders offense is based on OTA practices alone, which, again, you got a brand new OC and Luke Getsy. You still got your same guy in Patrick Graham, plus you bring back Antonio Pierce. But the Raiders defense looks legit according to all reports at Raiders OTAs. Blaine Craig! Bang! So, this might be, I don't know how to chalk this one up. So I owe a boot. I also said, though, if we get a hundo, it's a boot. Is that 2 boots? Is that the math? If that's how this is math, then this is bad. I'm just telling you right now. It's bad math.
Yeah.
Very bad math. So how about this, Chugs? Let me go get my boot.
Need a second?
Let me go get my boot here.
Maybe,
for Blaine.
Maybe recruit somebody.
I'm going to see if I can get somebody. So I'm not going to have Chugs do a boot. Again, if you want to tell them what happened yesterday, that's up to you. But I'm going to see if I can recruit someone. I think I can. Or if you're okay, wait until the very, very end for my last and final boot, we could potentially do that. But Jeffrey Stewart says boot race. I'll see what I can do. I got to go fill it up, though. Blaine, what do you want, Happy Dad or beer? That's, I guess, the next question. Half Dads or a little bit of brusque? Well, somebody said boot race with Rolly. I think he's doing something. He's actually filming right now. I'll see what I can do.
We'll see who's out there.
I'll see what I can do.
In other news, it's National Cheese Day. So, what is your favorite cheese dish? If I told you one dish that you could have with cheese, what is your best cheese dish? If I'm saying I'm looking for the best cheese dish in the world, what are we talking? Patrick B says lasagna. That's a good cheese dish. Pizza. Pizza has to be up there. I mean, I might be biased being from Texas, but some fajitas with queso or some enchiladas, some quesadillas too, fondue, that's great. A cheeseburger, mac and cheese, lobster mac and cheese. I was thinking about the dishes as well. Mac and cheese, or grilled mac and cheese. Oh, wow. Grilled cheese. I was thinking about this and I was like, you know what? In like Chinese food, Japanese food, not a lot of cheese. Can't think of a lot of cheese dishes in Chinese food / Japanese food. I can't think of a lot of cheese dishes. Lasagna. French onion soup. That's a great one. Great French onion. Nacho grande. Oh, yeah, like a queso-covered nachos. It ain't easy being cheesy. Carne asada fries. I think it really comes down to Mexican food versus Italian food with the cheese.
What do you want, Colin?
Apple pie topped with cheddar. I've heard people say this before. I don't know if I trust it. I've heard of apple pie with cheddar on top. I don't know. Crunchy taco, quesadilla, always. We had Chipotle for lunch today. Ooh, mozzarella sticks. I mean, just so simple, but just a good mozzarella stick is up there. Always down for some good mozzarella sticks. Raider Sancho says a queso boot. Of course. Best cheese dish that you could have. If I said, give me the best dish that you can make with cheese, what are you making? Or what do you want?
I mean, to be honest with you, if I'm going to go best dish, I'm almost thinking like, is cheese the star?
It has to be one of the main, it has to be in the starting 5. It has to be a main component on this roster. Like some things that we've said in here, lasagna is up there, cheeseburger, quesadilla, nachos.
I would give you 2 answers. Either one, I'd probably keep it simple and just say like a very cheesy grilled cheese and like some tomato soup, or a Juicy Lucy burger. A good Juicy Lucy burger is hard to beat. Also, you know who's hard to beat? Well, actually, when you look at his face, you're going to be like, this guy's easy to beat. You know what I'm talking about. We got Cullen! Boot race!
Moose.
All right, so I'm going to be honest. If there's one guy that might be able to beat Chugs, it's Cullen. It's,
Cullen, what's your best time?
10 seconds? And he's got a fresh cut. So, Cullen also told me when he walked in today that the hair that you see here, that's it. That's it. From everywhere else.
He's like an emperor penguin.
Correct. You ever see Kim Possible? Rufus.
From the waist down?
Smooth. Nothing but the smoothest.
We call him Michael Phelps in the office.
Really? Boy, I think Cullen has the most nicknames out of anybody I've ever met.
It reminds me of Parks and Rec when they keep on calling Gary, Jerry, and Jerry, Gary.
Oh, somebody said TMI. Too much. Oh, wait, you didn't actually volunteer? No, but it's okay. Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, damn, brutal.
I think Allie owes the next one then. Those are the rules.
I think that's fair. Next boots on Allie. Next boots on Allie. All right. Who you got? If you're going to roll with me, I want you to type B for Blaine. If not, I want you to type C for Cullen.
Or M for Moose. T for Tank. Or C for colonoscopy.
Yep. All of the above. Honestly, if you just type any letter of the alphabet, it probably means Cullen.
People keep on saying that Cullen's my mini-me.
I mean, I'd say Cullen kind of looks like Chugs when Chugs first started. And minus the beard. And glasses.
I think we're just both big white guys. That's what
you're saying. Oh, yeah. I mean,
That's definitely what that is.
I mean, that's most of chat sports is white guy, brown hair, and if you don't have a beard, you probably went to North Texas.
Mean Green, baby.
Mean Green.
Cullen another North Texas grad.
All right, here we go. Somebody said it looks like Chugs' baby pics. That one's good. That's all right, Cullen. How much to put a binky in you? Not with me, but I'm sure we could get one.
It's in Alex's closet.
Yep. There's a lot of other things. All right, Cullen. Cullen's going to whoop me. I can already tell you that. Cullen, when you start, I'm going to start. And then after this, we got another segment to go.
Jaime, I am white.
Jaime?
Yeah. No, people were confused thinking that I was not white.
That you weren't? I don't know how that's possible. I guess for the record, I'm also white. Since we're doing this, I don't know. Cullen, he's.
Wait, we know.
Cullen is.
We don't need to see your 23andMe.
Honestly, Cullen is so white that he can't even put that he's Caucasian. That's not white enough. He's got to be white. All right, here we go. He thought you were a Mexican.
I get that a lot. I get that a lot. Cullen's so white, you bring him in if you make a mistake with your pen.
A what? Like a little whiteout.
A little whiteout.
Oh. I got you. All right, here we go.
Cullen's so white, he wants to talk to the manager now. 3.
Cullen's so white that his soon-to-be ex-wife, his name's Karen.
In 3, 2, 1. Cullen's so white, he thinks pico is spicy. Also, Cullen just starts off with the side, with that thing on him, and he just goes all the way. There we go.
What pisses me off with Cullen, it's a casual chug. Like, one hand, side boot, the entire time. Though Gray,
So you know he means business.
that's what I mean. Cullen's absolutely.
He's a baller, shot collar, 20-inch blades on the Impala.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you what, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
Well, Allie's in trouble.
That's right. The next boot race that we do today here on the Raiders Report, Allie Barefoot is going to be a part of it. I don't know how,
Allie,
but it's happening.
What's your favorite dish with cheese?
Yep. What? Wait, what? We just asked Allie, what's your favorite dish with cheese? Favorite dish with cheese. She responds, salami. If this was the Family Feud, you would get 3 X's on one answer.
Top 5 answers on the board. Your favorite dish with cheese? Salami.
Survey says. Good answer. That's one of those in Family Feud where like you still clap. You're like, this has no chance. Show me salami. Nope. Not going to happen today. Not going to happen today. Oh, man. Blaine, I'm not going to lie. Blaine might have he might have effed this whole thing up. He really did. I did not expect that. I'm hurting.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, let's get into this next segment coming up here on the Raiders Report. And I'll just tell you before I forget, $20 Venmo for a chance to get in, win a little bit of money.
Wait, so you went with grilled cheese or?
Grilled cheese or Juicy Lucy burger.
I told them biased because I live in Texas. Fajita nachos with queso on top.
Does sound really good. I'll also say this. I've had it before here, is when there was a taco place that I went to recently with Alex. Imagine like a birria taco. Now, I always tell you, like when I go to Velvet, I get number 12 because like they put like this like cheese on like the taco shell and like they fry it. I went to a place recently with Alex and they literally like cover the whole thing with like queso and then they deep fry like the whole thing. It's not healthy at all.
It doesn't sound like it.
Oh, it's unbelievable though. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Common you in, which means now $20 Venmo for a chance to win $240. And whoever comes in last place, Raiders Report jersey.
Name something that you lose in your car. Salami.
Salami. I mean, what an answer.
You might need to go to the doctor if you have too much. Salami.
Best dish with cheese. Best dish with cheese.
Name something you might knock on your neighbor's door if you don't have enough of. Salami.
I mean, mac and cheese probably is the best answer.
Mac and cheese is good.
With salami, though.
Breadcrumbs, no breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs.
Okay.
That's a really hot button issue. There's a couple people will not eat mac and cheese with breadcrumbs. No, salami. Salami and mac and cheese sounds good.
Actually,
have you had salami and eggs? Oh. Next.
I'm not like that big of a fan of salami.
By the way you said it, it sounded like you were the biggest fan of salami.
What's the best dish with cheese? Pizza.
Pizza's a good one.
pizza's got to be up there.
It's also what the basic bees say, so not surprised Sam said it.
Fair.
That was
I'll tell you what, that was a pretty good basic B snap right there.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
Uh-oh. Speaking of salami, we got the eyes of Texas walking in here.
Cool. No, if you haven't had salami and eggs, bomb.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
You just chop it up, cook it in the pan, and then you just put the scrambled eggs all in it, mix it up. Also, maybe unpopular opinion, Spam and eggs really good. Nacho. That's what I
Nachos?
say.
Yeah.
Gotta be with fajita meat though. Fajita meat nachos. Mozzarella
sticks is a very good answer.
I
Good answer.
if you had to get rid of one, mozzarella sticks or cheese curds?
Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to get rid of the cheese curds. Oh, you're taking cheese curds?
I'm telling you this right now.
I think I might go with mozz sticks.
I probably would still stick with mozzarella sticks over cheese curds. However, though, I've had like a good cheese curd. I had one up in North Dakota. It was kind of different, man.
Sperry.
It's kind of different.
He's locked in.
He's locked in. It ain't happening.
Legs are crossed.
The legs are crossed. This is a disaster over here. All right, we got to get into this next segment. I also got to change my jersey, which I'll tell you this right now. I got 2 more jerseys to wear. We got Friday happy hour deals going on. If we get a hundo, it'll be a boot.
Salami.
And then I'm going to need another hundo on top of that so I can boot race foot. It's going down here. Let me swap jerseys here.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. I'm yelling salami.
Tell them to type 21 or number 5. Whatever number they type.
All right. Mitch is about to pick a jersey right now. Which one do you want, 21 or 5? Type either 21 or type 5. Let me know which jersey you want to see next here on the show. Whichever one gets more types, gets typed more. 21 or 5? "21, can you do something for me? Can you get a little salami for me? 21. Can you do something for me?"
I'm not going to lie. If you would have given me a million guesses of best thing to eat with cheese, I'm telling you right now, salami's not in my top million. I mean, let's be honest. Best dish with cheese. Family Feud says top 100 answers on the board. You know what I mean? Top million's not there. If you answered that on the what's the final part of the Family Feud?
Something you give your date at prom. Salami.
That actually makes more sense. That makes more sense than your favorite dish. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into some surprise trade candidates. Surprise trade candidates coming up here on the show, and I'll kind of go through everything of why I have this show made, just because, with OTAs ending, you got minicamp right around the corner, and if the Raiders, let's say they didn't like something that they saw, or they're very confident in another player, you might be able to trade somebody. So, again, this is a surprise trade video. So all these names, if they got dealt, we would all be shocked. We would go live for the show. So that's just something to keep in mind. However, it's June, and I like to do these type of shows. So that's what's going to be coming up here on this one. Then I got another segment after that. This is going to be a day.
Oh,
it's going to be a day.
That's another sneaky cheese dish.
What?
Grits.
I don't know if I've...
Some cheesy grits.
I actually like cheese on my eggs.
I like cheese.
Actually, I got to give Trey some kudos here. Cheese on popcorn. Very good.
Oh, like cheddar popcorn.
No. So the one day, Alex and I had a double date with Trace and his girlfriend. I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name on the show. And he gave me popcorn with shredded cheese on it. Shredded cheese on it. Like the Mexican 3-cheese kind. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable. It was, now when I eat popcorn, I can't do it without it.
That good.
Dude, it's that good. I'm telling you right now, it's that good. Noah, what's the deal for the next boot race? The deal is this. I was worried that Castro was watching the show and he would make me do a boot. So here's what's going to happen. Let's do, we're what? We're a few bangs away. We're 3 bangs away from a boot race against Foot. Boot race against Foot. 3 bangs away. That's where we're at. Or if we can get to 1,000 likes on this live stream. If we get to 1,000 likes, boot race against Foot. Here we go. This might be one of my greatest performances of all time. We're gonna rally here. We're gonna rally here. Coming up, we're gonna talk about surprise trade candidates after OTAs. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, surprise trade candidates after Raiders OTAs. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this show is because the Silver and Black just got a bunch of extra money on their salary cap. Right now, we're sitting somewhere around $34 million in salary cap space. OTA practice ends on June 6th, and minicamp starts on June 11th. Minicamp is mandatory. So if the Raiders see a player, maybe that's a free agent that they want, and they look at a guy and they're like, all right, well, we have to move on from somebody. I have done surprise cut candidates. So now what I figured I would do is, let's say the Raiders want to keep some of these bottom of the roster guys. They get an offer for another player that might end up starting for them. And if they end up getting an offer for that player because they know that they're not going to be a good fit for them this season, could you see them trade it after OTAs? That way they can try to figure out a way to get another player right before minicamp starts June 11th. Because with 91 guys on their roster, trading a player could open up space to sign another. Now, here's the thing. If the Raiders end up trading any of the 5 players that you're going to see, to be frank with you, if the Raiders traded anybody on their 91-man roster, I would go live here on the Raiders Report. But if you don't know, I got a bachelor party this week. It's the only reason why I'm going. The last time I'll be live all week is going to be on Tuesday. And if the Raiders end up trading the player, we're still going to go live here on the Raiders Report. It's not going to be me hosting, though. It's going to be that guy over there, Jeremy Chugs. And here's the thing. We're a company. We still run like a normal company, and I know that you guys see us on YouTube all the time, but if Chugs goes live on YouTube, our bosses are going to look at that. They're going to say, can Jeremy get the job done? Show up for Chugs. Make sure you show him some love, because if breaking news happens, I want this to be a family show, right? And if he's up here, I want you all to treat him like family like you always do. But I want you to really, really, truly show out. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got those notifications turned on. So the way that we're going to go through today's show is we're going to go through and look at some of these surprise trade candidates. I will say that they are not ranked, so just keep that in mind. I know you have them ranked. Also, make sure the Trey Tucker position is correct. So way that we're going to roll through this here is we're just going to go through and just look at each of the players, and I'm going to tell you how much it's going to save the Raiders if you end up trading them, how much the Raiders will have to eat if you end up trading them. Also break down like what they could potentially be worth in a trade, why the Raiders would decide to move on from these players. But this is also the very important part of the show where I'm going to say this. I actually don't think that the Raiders want to trade all of these guys up on the show, but what you might end up seeing is if another player is like, let's say, showing out at Raiders OTAs, or a player has looked good this offseason. It's not so much, I don't like this guy. It's, I don't think that they're going to have as much work, and could you potentially sell that player, get some draft capital, that way you can move forward instead of just having a wasted player that might not end up making the 53-man roster. Hopefully that makes some sense. So let's get into the first player here. It's Trey Tucker at wide receiver. And earlier in the week, I was asked her in a mailbag, who do you think is the most likely player to get traded that would shock people? It's Trey Tucker to me, and that's where I'm going to start this show off. And the only reason why I'm throwing Tucker into the mix here is because he was drafted in round 3 of last season. He's a McDaniels and Ziegler guy. So AP and Telesco, they don't really have any ties to him. And I would say at best, he's the Raiders' 6th option on the offensive side of the football. If you trade him, you save $991K. If it was up to me, I would never trade Trey Tucker, because to me, he has a lot more value than just lighting up a stat sheet of I want pre-snap motion. I want to see him used on special teams a little bit more. But what if the Raiders are confident in a guy like Dylan Lowby, who they drafted to do special teams? The Raiders drafted Brock Bowers. And the reason why I say that Tucker's your sixth option on offense, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, whoever your starting running back is, let's say, Michael Mayer, and then Trey Tucker. And, what if Michael Gallup ends up going out there and showing out? What if another running back, like a Dylan Lowby, ends up going out there and showing out? It's not that I don't believe in Tucker, but it's the fact that he was drafted in round 3. If another NFL team were to offer the Silver and Black a 5th-round pick for Tucker, where I thought he would end up getting drafted in 2023, I could see them potentially pulling the trigger and deciding, you know what, we were going to use him a little bit more in special teams. We're confident in the guys that we have for special teams, and you can move on from Tucker. I'll also say it again, because I know people won't pay attention to it. I don't want to trade Trey Tucker. It's just based on the value that you might potentially get. Let's go to the next surprise trade candidate here after OTAs. I'm going to roll with Divine Diablo. And one of the things that Raiders linebacker coach Caldwell had to say on Tuesday was he does anticipate linebackers getting more work on special teams this season because of the new kickoff return rules, which doesn't really impact Divine, but it does impact the players behind him, which if you trade away Diablo, you're asking a lot, and I mean a lot, of a guy like Tommy Eichenberg, your rookie. And maybe that's the route that they end up doing. I also know that this Raiders defense is probably going to run a lot of 2 linebacker sets. So it's going to be Diablo, it's going to be Robert Spillane, but if they're confident in Eichenberg, you might be able to trade away Divine Diablo, save $3.1 million. The fact that he's in the final year of his deal, we like Divine, right? But if I told you a contract extension, I don't see one going to Double D. If anything, it's going to go to Marcus Epps, Trevon Merrick, Nate Hobbs, Robert Spillane, Malcolm Kuntz. So if you know that you're going to lose him next offseason, it could be an opportunity for you to at least get something in return. And then that way you have that extra draft pick, and then he can go be a free agent elsewhere next offseason. He's done a good job, and linebackers that have been athletic have had some success in this regime. He's also battled some injuries, and one of the players that was mentioned today by the Raiders linebacker coach, when I say today, I'm talking about Tuesday, was Luke Masterson, a player that we're kind of just saying, maybe he's not going to be that big of a part of this organization. They have Amari Burney. You already have Tommy Eichenberg, Robert Spillane. Divine Diablos would be a surprising trade candidate, but if he got traded, I actually don't think people would be like, wow, I didn't see that one coming. Out of all the players on the Raiders roster, I could see it at least somewhat coming. So how about this? Out of the 2 players that I've mentioned so far on today's show, who would be the more shocking trade? Would you be more surprised if Trey Tucker got dealt or if Divine Diablo ended up getting traded? I want you to type 11 for Trey, type 5 for Divine Diablo. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. So scroll on down. You're about to get hit with the YouTube ad break, and give me your answer. To me, the player that would be more shocking if the Raiders traded is Divine Diablo, just because of the depth at linebacker. This has nothing to do with the skill set of Divine, has nothing to do with the skill set of Trey Tucker. It just comes down to position scarcity. The Raiders have a lot more depth at wide receiver than they do linebacker. So because of that, I would be more surprised if the Raiders decided to move on from Divine Diablo compared to a guy like Trey Tucker. Now, coming up here, we got more Raiders surprise trade candidates to take a deep dive into, because I know this. 2 of the names, some of y'all would be like, okay, the final name on today's show, I'm going to upset some people. I'm just going to tell you that right now. What upsets me is when you don't take advantage of the deals that we got with some of our awesome sponsors here, and Prize Picks is here to hook up the nation. And I know a lot of times, which recently I've been talking about the NBA Finals, the NHL playoffs, and all these other stuff, and some people are like, Mitch, I don't want to put my money on things that I don't 100% know. My question to everybody watching the show right now is, are you a Raider fan, and are you confident in your Raiders knowledge? If that answer is yes, then you need to go get started with Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and make sure that you use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Now, not only is Prize Picks America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members, Prize Picks, though, also has picks for not only the NBA Finals, but they also have them for the Raiders and all the players that they have. So what I really try to do here, and I know it's a little bit difficult to see, but Prize Picks has just updated the full season long Raiders. Now, you're not going to be able to actually put this into motion on Prize Picks, right? What I'm trying to show you is everything that you can pick more or less than for the Raiders on Prize Picks season long. These are everything that you can do right now on Prize Picks. So they got Devontae Adams. Basically, do you think Devontae Adams is going to have more than 1,000 receiving yards? I do. Zamir White, he's rushing yards. That's a tough one. If you're like Mitch, he's going to have more. If you think he's going to have less than 825.5, hey, put your money where your mouth is. Zamir White on 4.5 touchdowns, though, that's a more to me. That's an easy one. Brock Bowers, 4.5 touchdowns. I think that one's going to be more as well. That one's a little bit tough. But then the bottom one here, Devontae Adams, 6.5 receiving touchdowns. Now, again, you can't pick like Devontae multiple categories, but what I am really just trying to show you right now on Prize Picks, they have 5 Raiders categories: Devontae, Zamir, Brock Bowers, more or less. If you're confident in any one of those, go put your money where your mouth is. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Just again, make sure that you use code CLNS for that first deposit match up to $100. It's simple. It's so simple that my dad can do it, which I'm pretty sure that also means a caveman could do it. Let's go to the next surprise trade candidate here for the Las Vegas Raiders. And for people that watch this show often, you're definitely not surprised by this one right here. It's Byron Young. I have also said on this show that I don't know if Young makes the 53-man roster. Byron has been a surprise cut candidate, and if you're the silver and black, and if you can get literally anything for the former Alabama product, I think they would do it. If some team offered the Raiders a 7th-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, I think AP and Telesco would take it. If traded, the Raiders save $1 million. You eat $281K, all good. Drafted in round 3 of the 2023 NFL Draft, was a healthy scratch multiple times last offseason. And with all the talent that this organization has, especially in the defensive tackle room, I could see them potentially moving on from Byron. Now, Nesta Jade Silvera, Matthew Butler, some of these other younger players have not been able to get on the field during OTAs, but that also means that Byron Young has been able to get on the field. If you're Rob Leonard, the Raiders defensive line coach, and you're just looking at this roster from top to bottom, and you're like, Byron Young's just not that dude, you could trade him right now, and you still are going to get something from him because he was a 3rd-round pick last year, and he's from Alabama. That means that there will be at least one team somewhat interested in Byron Young. Let's go to the next player here for my surprise trade candidates. It's Chris Smith, another player that has been mentioned a ton as a potential cut candidate. But I do think that when you look at some of these players like Chris Smith, he was one of the leaders. He was one of the captain snap leaders on some of these great Georgia defenses, a Georgia defense that won back-to-back national championships, and Smith was the, kind of like that quarterback of the defense, was one of the captains there for the Bulldogs. And if the Raiders trade him, you save $915K. You're only going to eat $61,000. Not that big of a deal. But another former regime guy. And if I'm Antonio Pierce, I'm Tom Telesco, I'm going to bet on my guys. I'm going to pay more attention to the dudes that I re-signed, to the players that I draft. And quite frankly, if you're part of that old regime, it sucks, but it's, it's kind of the truth. They become a little bit of an afterthought. The Raiders re-signed Isaiah Palameo, a player that we have high hopes for. Trey Taylor's been impressive this Raiders OTA offseason. And if I told you that Chris Smith is the 5th best safety on our team, that illustrates to me that he's just not going to get a lot of playing time. On top of that, Smith last season, when AP took over, his snaps went down. Like, he got opportunities when AP first took over, and then as the year went on, as AP continued to be the interim head coach, his snaps continued to go down and down and down. This guy played only 24 snaps last season, 22 of which came in that 63-21 blowout against the Chargers, but his special team snaps went down. And, Smith is a good leader. He's a good player, but he's not really going to ever bring you anything all that special. Quite frankly, I think Trey Taylor's got a better upside. I think he's got a better floor than Smith. And this is a good dude, but not this regime. And if you could trade him and get a 7th-round pick, I think the Raiders would be interested in it. Before I tell you the final Raiders surprise trade candidate, I got to give a shout-out to the Noti gang. Shout out to Kev, Ron, Sucker Free, Benji Gonzalez, and R4L1960. These are the people that are not only subscribed, but take pride in trying to be one of the very first people to comment on all of our shows here. So believe me when I tell you, I greatly, and I mean I greatly appreciate it. One of the other things that we've been doing here on the Raiders Report during the offseason, because I know that not every single person watches every show that we do, I put a lot of time, a lot of effort into a lot of the shows that we make, Chugs and I both do. So my video of the week, the number one video that if you did not see it, I want you to check it out. If you want to check out my video of the week, it's up right here. Don't be afraid to click on that. If you're watching this live, you won't be able to click on it. However, if you don't watch this live, you will be able to click on this video right here. The best video that I made all week. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I just want you to see for yourself. Put a lot of time and effort into that bad boy. Let's go to the final player here for our Raiders surprise trade candidates. It's Tyree Wilson. And some of you are going to watch this show and you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, Mitch. You told me Tyree Wilson's going to shock the world and Wilson's doing great in the OTAs. He is. He absolutely, positively is. And I don't want the Raiders to trade away Wilson. But I'll also say this, like, if an NFL team offered the Raiders a second-round pick for Tyree, you would do it in a heartbeat, right? Like, Wilson's coming off a season where he struggled a little bit. First-round pick, number 7 overall. Again, old regime. But the fact that the Raiders have a lot of talent on the defensive line, and if you're Patrick Graham, if you're Antonio Pearson, if you legitimately don't have plans to play Tyree on the interior and you only plan on playing him on the outside, that limits the amount of snaps that he's going to get. So, like, if I don't think that he's going to play DT, which I do think he's going to play DT, that means he's probably only going to get 300, 350, 400 snaps. That's not a first round, second round type of caliber pick. And I do think there's a lot of teams out there that look at Tyree Wilson's upside and go, that kid can be pretty damn special. I think he can be pretty damn special. But again, this regime did not draft Wilson. And I'm hoping that he can materialize. I'm hoping that he goes out there and shows everybody what he could potentially be, because I know he could be a hell of a football player. But if an NFL team called Telesco and called AP, I think even if they offered him a third-round pick, I think they might at least entertain that idea. So for that reason, I put Tyree Wilson, because out of all these players, Trey Tucker, Divine Diablo, Byron Young, Chris Smith, the guy that has the most trade value, and quite frankly, it's not close. His name is Tyree Wilson. He wears number 9 for the silver and black, and I know that they don't want to move on from him, but if the deal's good, they're at least going to entertain that idea. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you give me a follow on Instagram, at Mitchell Renz 365, as well as Twitter. I'm going to be posting a lot of things for my bachelor party, not my bachelor party, my buddy's bachelor party this weekend. That's why you should follow me on IG and on Twitter. But to make sure that you don't miss anything going on around the Raiders, I do think it's also important for you to hit up Chugs, at Jeremy Chugs. Like, I had somebody on Twitter today ask me, Mitch, been trying to get a hold of you on Instagram, can't do it. I check my DMs a lot. My DMs do kind of get bogged down, but if you've won something, if you're, trying to get our attention and like, hey, I want to do something for the show, at Jeremy Chugs on Twitter is the way to do that one. All right, Jeremy, I got to pee really, really bad. But before I go take a leak, I did see this. No! Santana! Bang! What's up, No? Mr. No Santana. I have faith in the nation, making it happen, one bang down. Oh, that's on me then. Here's what I'll do. That's on me. So no one wants to see a boot race between Foot and I. We're 2 bangs away from making that happen. We're 2 bangs away from making it happen.
She's giving me a look.
I know. That's all right. Probably because she thought we were talking about salami again. Noah Santana, shout out to you, man.
Find you somebody that loves you the way Allie loves salami.
Darth Fat Ass, you in. Also, Darth, I don't know what you sent me. You in, Darth.
I don't know what you just sent me.
He sent me 2. And then he sent me 20.
Ah.
Noah Santana.
A real one.
Absolute
Now,
legend.
For this next one, not a big cognac guy. So
No?
I'm going to say no.
I think it depends. I think my problem with cognac is I'd rather just have an old-fashioned. I'd rather have whiskey.
Never in my life I was like, oh, you know what, I want to drink. Let me get the cognac.
And that's kind of where I'm at as well. I know a lot of people do like it, though, because Hennessy is a cognac.
Cognac?
Cognac. So I do know that. Give me a yes. Give me a no down below. Chugs, I'm going to be real with you. I got to pee, man. I got to take a leak. Gotta take a leak here.
All right, let me know. Do you like cognac? Yes or no? The definition on Wikipedia is cognac is a variety of brandy named after the commune of Cognac, France. It is produced in the surrounding wine-growing region in the departments of Charente and Charente-Maritime. So I'm guessing brandy, whiskey. Cognac is a brandy. Interesting. Whiskey, baby, bourbon is better. Henny with Pepsi. I've been told Henny lemonade is the way to go. Speaking of, depends your next sponsor. Yeah, depending on who our next sponsor is how much I love cognac. By convention, it's only made in Cognac, France. Well, yeah, that's what I just read on Wikipedia. I had no clue. It's all these fake cognacs out here acting like they're real cognacs. Just a crime. Just a crime. Jameson whiskey. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a tequila guy. I like tequila. Dylan said cognac is great if you're into trash. Hey, one man's trash, another man's treasure, right? Speaking of treasure, if you haven't gotten in already, we're doing a 50-50 raffle at the end of today's program. We have one more show to film here. So after this next segment, we're going to do a 50-50 raffle, $20 to enter. And today we have a special deal involved with it. Oh, here it is. A special deal involved with it. $20 to get in the duck race. As always, the winner gets half of the pot. The loser, though, the last place, gets a Raiders Report jersey. So if you don't have a jersey yet, if you're interested in getting a Raiders Report jersey like one Ed Robbins did today, you get last place in the duck race. That means you get a jersey. And on top of that, Mitch added $100 to the race already. So if somebody were to say win, you get half the pot plus $100. Gotta play to win. Gotta play to win. Back on this cognac discussion. See, it's a great deal. Texans versus Mexicans said, I'm trash and no one looks at me like I'm treasure. You never know. Maybe somebody does. Secret admirer. Maybe. You never know. Smooth and effective from Robert Jansen. Are we still talking about the cognac? Are we still talking about the liquor? Boot versus bong? Maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see. Smooth and effective.
Hey. All right. I got my guy.
Jason said, tell him, Chug, scared money don't make no money. I told him. You got to pay to play.
Dylan.
And you got to play to win.
Erickson is in. I also got my guy, LA Crash. You in.
You lose 100% of the duck races you don't enter.
Carl, you in. Right now, 18 people are in, which means winner would go home with $280. And on top of that, whoever comes in last place, hey.
LA.
Raiders report jersey.
I'm up. What's up, fam? Any big news today? Semper Fi.
No news today, unfortunately, Gunny. I don't want to say I was disappointed in Gardner Minshew, Aidan O'Connell, and Malcolm Kuhn's press conference today, but like it's not anything that Malcolm, Aidan, or Gardner really could have done. It's just I kind of get annoyed, and you guys can let me know if I'm stepping out of bounds here. I get annoyed by the questions that the media asks. Like, I want the media, and, maybe they're not allowed to ask the questions that I want them to ask, but it's just so many questions that I hear, and I'm like, I just don't give a shit. And, I get it. I'm not in the media room. They're there, and they're asking the questions. But, like, there has to be something that I feel like it's just like questions that people are like, and they just come up with on the spot. Like, they don't actually think about the questions that they're going to ask until they're there.
What are some questions you didn't like?
I don't remember off the top of my head. They're questions where the player is going to give you a player answer. How about that? Where there's no substance to it. What do you like when somebody asks Gardner Minshew, how's the QB battle going with Aidan O'Connell? He's not going to tell you anything. Like, I want somebody, instead of that question, it needs to be, right now, do you think you're going to be the week 1 starter for the Raiders? And even that he's probably going to say a beat around the bush answer. But what if he says, yes, I think I'm going to be the starter? Or, I don't know, it's an open, I need better questions. I do. I need better questions. Is that a bad thing to say?
I'm afraid what would happen if you were able to ask questions.
Honestly, I probably wouldn't be there long, and that's okay. Let's face it, players probably don't want to answer questions from a guy like me, where I'm going to ask you things that I legitimately want to know. But to me,
what's your body count?
Honestly, I'd rather hear that answered by any 3 of those guys than most of the questions that were asked today. I want to get to know that player. I feel like I love this show, and you guys, rock with Chugs and I, because we're anything can happen on the show. We answer anything, but you need that honesty to really get to that next level of rooting for a guy and knowing what's real and what's not real.
Gardner, you've practiced with Aidan for a couple practices. What are some of the biggest weaknesses you see in his game that were really highlighted last season?
It's just, it kind of takes me back to the Josh McDaniels interviews, where every question that Josh McDaniels answered, I would literally sit there every press conference, and I'm like, why the flip am I here? I don't believe anything this guy says anyway.
Aiden's slow as shit. How much of a advance should he get in a race with you in a 100-meter dash?
I'd rather that. Do you think that you can outthrow Jimmy Garoppolo with a football? Those are the questions. That, to me, gives me more than what we've got. I don't know how we got down that tangent. I also see brief or boxers. Is that a real question?
What?
Boxer briefs or just boxers?
What do you do?
What do you mean? There's only one answer to this.
All right, in 3, 2, 1,
Briefs.
boxers.
No way. You're not wearing boxers right now.
Right now?
Yeah. Oh, you do have sweatpants on. There's no way. There's no way you left your house today wearing gray sweatpants and not wearing briefs.
That's how committed I am in my relationship to my wife. I can walk around all day
salami
staring at Cullen and still have...
That's impressive. That's impressive.
How much you want to bet I have boxers on?
There's no way you have boxers on.
I'll bet you $20 I do.
All right. You have boxers on with gray sweatpants? That's psychotic. Those are basketball shorts. What the hell are they?
Boxers.
They're not boxers.
Pair of thieves.
They're briefs, dude.
What? These are not briefs.
What do you mean? I have the same pair on.
No, but it's not briefs. It's boxers.
No, that's a brief to me. That's not a boxer, dude.
I literally bought them.
That's tighter against your skin, though.
No, it's not.
Dude, get out of here. Get out of here.
I literally bought them, and they only said boxers on
They only said boxers, so that's what they are.
Yes.
I don't know. Pair of Thieves, though, they make briefs, dude. Look what I have on.
I'm gonna break some news to you. They make both.
Oh, I'm sure. They probably also make underwear, too.
Wait, you're telling me the company that makes boxer briefs also makes boxers?
That's insane.
No way.
That's insane. Imagine if Cheez-It came out with salami-its. Same thing.
I think you owe me $20 because I have my salami hammock on.
All right, Chugs, with that $20, I'll put you in the race.
All right. Deal.
Chugs, you in. But I would not consider those boxers. I would
What
not.
do you?
I wouldn't.
I don't.
Boxers to me.
I don't think you know what the definition of boxers is.
I guess I don't. I don't. I'm thinking of dude. But those are briefs to me. What's a brief then?
Not these.
These are briefs.
Yes.
That's what that is.
No.
Oh
They're
my
different.
God, dude, get out of here.
They're very different.
There's no way.
Taino says Chugs just wears salami straps.
I'll tell you what. Can you imagine the smell that would have?
Chugs, can I get a Hoya?
The picture I have in my head right now, no, you can't. You can't get that. All right, we got one more segment to do here on the Raiders Report, and then this show's already been kind of getting a little bit wild. Will we get two more bangs, and will I take down the foot in a boot race? Questions to be remained? Questions remained. Either way. We got two more people that are in. I got Zach Martin is in, and then I also got Giovanni Tejada might be the most iconic baseball name of all time. You got a name like Giovanni Tejada, you're switch hitting.
Yeah. You're playing short.
Definitely. You can't even put a guy with the name of Giovanni Tejada in right field.
No.
That's not possible. Not in Little League. I mean, once you get older, maybe you're like a Vladimir Guerrero or something like that. Giovanni Tejada, that's a hell of a name. All right, let's do this, man.
He sounds like he has a great slugging percentage and he can steal bases.
I can't even say that. 5-tool player.
Husker says, am I in? Oh, Husker.
I actually don't think I got Husker's name. So, Husker, I'm glad you said that. Husker, you in. So, right now, as it stands,
you're so
$20 Venmo, you would win $320. Now, I added $100 onto that. So, there's only 22 people in the race. So, winner's going to get $320. Whoever comes in last, you get yourself a Raiders Report jersey like I'm rocking right here. All right, we got one more segment to do. It's going to be around Raiders mandatory minicamp. We got some news, top storylines, because, again, the next time that you guys are going to see me live is going to be Monday. And Raiders mandatory minicamp technically starts the 11th, but it also, technically starts Monday. I'll kind of get into all that of what's going down. But after that, then, hey, let's get wild. You guys won't see me for a week, and I got to get ready for this bachelor party. So let's get this thing going. Chuggy Bowl. You ready?
I'm ready.
You guys ready? Coming up right now, let's get into some Raiders mandatory minicamp news. Let's talk about some storylines. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we're going to be looking at some mandatory minicamp news that if you're rocking with the silver and black, if you're an NFL fan out there, you probably want to know. Then we got the top storylines to watch because unlike OTAs, this is mandatory minicamp. Different tone setter, different practice roles, and we're going to break all of that down for you guys on today's episode. So in terms of minicamp, what the no's are, Raiders practice from June 11th to June 13th. So you only get 3 days practice. 10 hours a day is the maximum that you are allowed to have for practice. Now think about this though. You're only allowed 24 hours over those 3 days. So if you go for 10, do the math. You got to split it up here. Physicals are going to be on Monday for the silver and black. No practice here, so this is just them going in, meeting with the doctors, meeting with the trainers, making sure everything's ready to go. Definitely a few players I'm going to keep my eyes on, like Kolton Miller, Jackson Powers, Johnson, Michael Gallup. A lot of these guys that have been missing some time here from practice. Keep an eye out for them. You're allowed 2 practices totaling 3.5 hours on field per day. Second practice, which is going to be June 12th for the Raiders, that's going to be limited to walkthrough activities only. To make sure that you're staying up to date on all things going on around the Raiders, I'm talking minicamp. We're going to be breaking down if there's any free agency stuff going on, but a lot of minicamp updates. I come right back from my buddy's bachelor party, and I'm telling you this right now, I'm going to hit the ground running. So make sure you don't miss anything. Turn on that notification bell and hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 170,000 subscribers. Let's get a little bit wild here. Coming up, let's get into the minicamp storylines to follow. I put together 5 of them for y'all, and I'm going to be real with you, just being real. It's going to be a lot of things repeating, but it's the things that are repeating is because I still don't feel like I've gotten the answers that I'm looking for a lot of these storylines. So the number one storyline is going to be this, the quarterback battle. It's going to be Aidan O'Connell. It's going to be Gardner Minshew, but maybe I'm a sucker for saying this out loud, and maybe it doesn't matter, but I'm telling you this right now. Mandatory is a different word to me, and I'm going to be paying a lot more closer attention to mandatory minicamp. It's also in a shorter time frame, that 3 days. You got to get a lot more answers in that 3 days. Who takes the first snap? If Gardner Minshew is the quarterback that takes that first snap at mandatory minicamp, that's a big deal to me. AOC got the first snap at Raiders OTAs. Both quarterbacks have been pressing thus far. We've heard it from coaches. We've heard it from reporters based on things that I've been told as well. Both quarterbacks are neck and neck right now in this battle. But if the first snap does go to Aidan O'Connell, to me, that's also going to tell me this, that he's got the foot up on that quarterback battle. Like in the NFL, in life in general, you can't play this little boy game of, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. If Aidan O'Connell's been the better quarterback, he better get the first snap at frickin' mandatory minicamp. If Gardner Minshew's been better, he better get the first frickin' snap at mandatory minicamp. If it's a tie, sure, maybe you stick with Aidan O'Connell. But my point is, I am going to read into it, as should all of you. Let's get into the next storyline coming up here on the show, and it's going to be around the offensive line help. It doesn't matter if you don't win in the trenches. Let me say it again. I don't care if we have Devontae Adams, Michael Mayer, Brock Bowers. I don't care who we have as a skill position player. If you can't win up front, it does not matter. And the offensive line health right now for this team, it does. It scares me. Are we going to see Kolton Miller? Are we going to see Jackson Powers-Johnson? Because rumor is Kolton Miller is dealing with a shoulder injury, and he only started 11 games last season, played in 13, but again, it was like a backup reserve, please don't put me in the game, but I'll go out there and suit up because I'm a captain, was not ready to go health-wise, and now you're kind of still dealing with this injury here. Jackson Powers-Johnson, he left practice early with an unspecified injury on May 21st. I will say I was told on June 4th on Tuesday that it's a soft tissue injury. I was told that it's not 100%, but believed to be a hamstring injury for a player that dealt with some soft tissue stuff last season, some concussions. It's not a concussion. That's the good news. But, if the season started today, right? Season started today, or let's talk about first day of minicamp, June 11th. What does that Raiders offensive line look like? Because with all the players that we have pictured here for our depth chart, I have confidence in the guys that are pictured. Outside of that, though, I do get nervous. Is Delmar Glaze ready to go right away as a rookie? Do I want Jordan Meredith out there? No. Cody Whitehair is getting up there in age. Good backup. Don't really want him out there as a starting option. Then you got Andres Pete. Yeah, you signed him. Still got some injury concerns. I would have some confidence in him. But, let's play a little bit of a game here because these are the games that I play with Jeremy. Weird. We talk about our Madden simulations a lot of times, and we're like, what happens if this guy gets injured? What do we do? Where do we go from there? Let's play a game right now. The season starts today, week 1, against the Chargers. If Kolton Miller and Jackson Powers-Johnson are both out, what would the Raiders starting offensive line be? What would it be? Because what if this injury lingers? What if it pops up again? Bottom line is, I want you to be a little bit creative. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. So scrolling down, give me your answer after this YouTube ad break. My answer. My starting offensive line without Kolton Miller and Jackson Powers-Johnson would be Andres Pete at left tackle. I believe Cody Whitehair would end up playing left guard just because of his ties with Getsy and offers you a little bit of that flexibility. For the Raiders this season, they're going to try to keep this right side of the offensive line the exact same. Andre James, Dylan Parham, Thayer Munford. This is what the Raiders starting offensive line would be without Kolton Miller and Jackson Powers Johnson. Coming up next here on the show, we're going to get into the Raiders' third storyline that the entire nation needs to be following during mandatory minicamp because it's mandatory. If it's mandatory for the players, I think it also should be mandatory for the nation out there. Now, I will say this. It's also mandatory to get your dad something special for Father's Day. And, growing up as a kid, my dad used to always say when I would tell him, like, hey, you get a Father's Day. Why don't I get a day? He's like, every day's your day. And he'd always hit me with, hey, I brought you into this world, and I can take you out of this world. Well, your dad, even if he's a little bit older than you, he might still be able to take you out of this world if you don't get him something special for Father's Day. Even if they tell you, I don't need anything. Well, you know what? Maybe you're going to a Raiders game this season. You want to get your dad, I don't know, Raiders tickets would be pretty dope. Also get him a Raiders t-shirt. Maybe get him a jersey. Take a picture while you're there and put it in a frame. I think when you get these type of gifts, they last a lifetime. And when you get a gift that lasts a lifetime, the memories, they stay forever. So go to chatsports.com/RaidersDad. That link's going to be available to you all down in the comments. I'm losing my voice. Down in the description of today's show, chatsports.com/RaidersDad. I don't know what's going on right now. My voice, I hope we can make it through this. Storyline number 3. We're going to be looking at the rookies and which rookies are UDFAs. Do they start to stand out? Because you don't see so much of what's happening at minicamp, again, or at OTAs because, you'll get as much media coverage. For minicamp, you're going to get a lot more media coverage. So which rookies end up looking like the real deal? Which rookies look like that they did that extra homework and that they're prepared? Right now, the rookies that I've been hearing have been standing out. Brock Bowers at the tight end position / wide receiver. Dylan Laube at running back. Trey Taylor at safety. Tommy Eichenberg at linebacker. These have been the rookies that have been standing out. For the UDFAs, Carter Bradley does sound like he has a little bit of an edge right now on Anthony Brown. Amari Gaynor, Ron Stone, they're fighting right now for a defensive end linebacker spot or more of an edge. And then Jaquan Shepard. Jaquan Shepard's physicality at 6'2", 210 pounds, I do think really, really helps him potentially have an opportunity to make this 53-man roster because one of the things that's been stated is just like how much the Raiders want physical players to help them out on special teams. Let's go to storyline number 4 here. I got to get a sip of my beer. I'm losing my voice somehow. I need some Mitches down below to make me through this. Who's the other cornerback for the Raiders? Like, the reason why I'm throwing this question out here is because we know Nate Hobbs. He was called one of the keys to the defense on Tuesday by the Raiders defensive back coach and cornerback coach Ricky Manning. But he said he's going to play in the slot. Jack Jones is going to be the other outside corner. That tells me we're still looking for that outside corner. And is it going to be Jacorian Bennett? Is it going to be DeCamerion Richardson? Is it going to be Brandon Faison? There's a lot of other options that this team could go with. Now, maybe it's MJ Devonshire, right? Maybe they decide to kick out Sam Webb. I don't know what it is exactly, but the Raiders need to figure out a question, and I hope that they start to paint that picture of who's that other outside corner. Now, let's play a little bit of a fun game here. Who do you think is going to be that starting outside corner next to Jack Jones with Nate Hobbs? Is it going to be Jacorian Bennett, type 0? If you think it's going to be the rookie DeCamerion Richardson, type 25. If you think it's going to be Brandon Faison, type 31. If you think it's going to be somebody else, let me know with an other down below. For me personally, the starting cornerback, I'm kind of hoping it's DeCamerion Richardson out of all those options because when I think of upside, I think of who do I think has the most upside? I think it's the rookie who's built the way that Richardson is built, who's got the athletic ability, but I'm hoping that the Raiders sign Xavier Howard. I'm hoping that the Raiders sign somebody like a Stephon Gilmore. I want this team to be able to add an extra talented piece to that defensive backfield. Not because I don't have confidence in those other 3 players. It's because I'm trying to win right now. And if the Raiders are serious about winning right now, I think if you have the opportunity to go get Gilmore or go get X, you make it happen. The 5th and final storyline to look at here is, will the Raiders add talent? We just talked about Gilmore and X. You have salary cap space. Again, at the time that I am making this video, the Raiders have not gone out and signed anybody. They got $34.1 million in salary cap space. No extensions have been given. You have the ability to go out and get somebody. And to me, these are my top 10 Raiders free agent targets as it stands right now. Now, Have them ranked based on need. Have them ranked based on how much money it's going to end up costing you. But, like, if you can add an edge rusher like a Gakwe, a cheap corner like an Adoree Jackson, or you go to the next slide here, Emmanuel Ogbah would be the number one edge rusher I would look at. The Raiders have money to not only give extensions to guys like Robert Spillane, Trevon Merrick. They also can restructure contracts like Devontae Adams. But, like, you could go out and get an Ogbah. You go out and get an Xavier Howard. You add Emmanuel Ogbah and Xavier Howard to your defense, and you're totally set in a totally different spot here for this Raiders defense. Like, you're a hell of a defense now. You make those type of moves, and that goes the extra step, and the fact that you do it before mandatory minicamp tells me that you did actually think that it was a pretty big need for this team. So those are going to be the top storylines that I'm looking for here for the Las Vegas Raiders. To make sure you don't miss anything going on around this team, though, seriously, May, June, July. I know we're in June now, and I know not a lot, every single person's still putting out content every single day, but I'll promise you this. We're bringing you that commitment to excellence. If I'm going to ask y'all to have commitment to excellence, we're going to bring it here as well. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you don't miss anything around the silver and black. Dude, I don't know what's going on with my throat right now.
Pause.
If somebody banged, I'd be in trouble. Yeah, I literally don't know. Literally don't know.
Literally.
I guess I'm going to have to keep drinking. I don't know. All right, y'all. Final call for our 50-50 raffle here. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. I did just get, it looks like, a few more people that got in this one. Giovanni, Husker. It looks like 93, you in. We got Ron Raspberry is in. Charles G again is in. And then Timmy Jones in. So as it stands right now, $20 Venmo, you would win $360. Whoever comes in last place, you're going to get yourself a Raiders Report jersey. Aaron, you in.
Yeah, in.
And 2 bangs away, yes.
Mitch, if you couldn't eat one of these for the rest of your life, which one would you cut out? Cheese and dairy or fruit?
I thought you were going to say salami. So you're saying cheese and dairy or fruit? I can't eat for the rest of my life. I actually would probably say I would want to keep cheese and dairy just because of the amount of things that I think are made with dairy. Where, like, I would be devastated if I couldn't have fruit anymore. I love fruit. But I'm afraid of how many things I couldn't eat if I didn't have dairy.
Pizza.
Well, I'm thinking, like, is that all bread? I don't know. How does that work? Or eggs. What are eggs? Is eggs dairy?
No.
No? Okay.
Dairy's cow. Where do eggs come from?
Chickens.
Chickens.
So is meat, like beef, dairy?
No.
Okay. Just milk.
It's what
Just
comes
milk.
From it's what comes from the cow.
Yeah, I might still say dairy. I don't know. I think I'm going to keep dairy. You can't eat cereal? That would be
You
brutal.
have oat milk.
No ice cream?
Oat ice cream. Or cashew.
It does not taste the same. Alex can look at me and tell me it tastes the same. Doesn't taste anything the same. I love milk, though. Like, I'm a milk drinker. Like, when I was a kid, my dad used to make me drink a glass of milk before I went to bed.
Really?
Yes. It's not an exaggeration.
Is that why you're so big and strong?
I think it's why I'm white. Very white. But only 2%, though. Only 2% of me is white. All right. Final call here to get on. To get in and get on. Oh, Finesse Lounge said, Mitch, I want 3 spots. Finesse, I'm going to put him down as Lounge, and then I'm going to put him as F and L. FL.
Giovanni says if he wins the jersey, he just wants you to put butthole on the back.
You know what? You got yourself a deal. I hope I'm allowed to. I don't even know if I'll be allowed to. I'll try, though. Butthole jersey.
69.
0.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you have to go 0.
Jacorian Bennett? No, butthole.
Oh, that jersey's ass, my dude.
Literally.
I feel like if you had the last name of Butthole, right, you'd have to do that. You'd have to.
I think you'd have to.
Moshav, you in. All right, I'm going to send this list of names right now to Jeremy. Jeremy, winner of this race is going to get $410. One away from a high amount. One away. And, oh, I thought we just got it. Nope. Winner gets $410. What? What are you looking at me? What happened? I sent it to the wrong person? Oh, I sent it to Jeremy. I didn't send it to TV. I was like, what? I was like, that is your name. We got to do different things with different computers. I don't know. Ron Raspberry. I'm hurting. I'm not going to lie to y'all. VT Holmes. You know almond milk is much worse than milk. Is it? I've always wondered how they squeeze the almond to get the milk. You know what I mean? Like, I've actually tried it. If you put an almond into like a lemon press and you squeeze it, no milk comes out.
Almonds ain't got no titties.
I don't know how it works, man.
Almonds ain't got no titties.
Luis Rod, you in.
All right, he won.
Luis Rod, you in. All right, we got to do this now. We got to do this now.
Mitch is fading.
Yep. Quick. Very, very quickly. All right, so 60 seconds on the clock here. Winner of this race. All right, hang on. All right, Stephen Bird. Add Stephen Bird. And then add Jason Gutt. G-U-T. Winner gets 440 now. Close enough. Winner gets $440 on the show. 3, 2, 1. When you're ready. Here we go. Dude, Chuck gets out to an early lead. Noah Santana. Let's freaking go. Here we go, man. Salvador Lucas down in the bottom. Charles G in an interesting spot, as is Finesse. Stephen Bird starting to fall back a little bit. Zach Martin falling back. Look at Chugs, though. Sprinting in here. Chugs sprinting in here would be something.
Come on, Chugs!
A Chugs win would piss y'all off, but move mountains for this guy.
Come on, Chugs!
Robert Ortiz, if the race ended right now, would be the winner. Charles G starting to fall back. Richie Renz.
Me and your dad!
Uh-oh. Oh, I think Chugs has got the lead.
Oh, no.
Now it's Rob Fravor. No, Robert Ortiz is really, really close. Winner gets $440.
I lost.
Don't count yourself out. Ed Robbins.
I'm going down.
Watch out for Common. Common. Finesse.
Yep, I'm done.
Is it going to be Finesse? Charles G sprinting in. L.A. Gunny. It's Gunny. The Crash Dog. Shout out to L.A. Crash Dog. Congrats. Dude woke up 20 minutes ago, and now he just won $440. Unbelievable.
Mitch?
Who won the butthole pick? What does that mean? You get a jersey?
Yeah.
What do you want on the back of your jersey? If it's not butthole, I don't want it.
I got to think about it.
You're going to have to think about it. Chugs gets the butthole pick. You were right, though. You did fall off quick. That one did fall off pretty quick, man.
Kind of like
Oh,
Ed!
Shit. Robbins! Bang! You got to be kidding me, man.
You got to be shitting me, man.
Ed frickin' Robbins said, "Hey, Foot, go fill up that boot." He said, "Hey, Foot, go fill up that boot." Ed frickin' Robbins, man. Oh, man. Is she out there? Dude. Ed Robbins, the MVP of today's show. That's some wild shit right there, Ed. I'll tell you what, man. Well, I already have one Happy Dad poured in here, so if you just want to pour 2 more in, that'd be great. If it could be watermelon, that would be phenomenal. I think watermelon's my new favorite Happy Dad flavor. I think it is. Ed Robbins, man. Wild stuff. Ed. I don't know, man. I'm just happy Zahn didn't show up today. Huh? No, he said he was working today. You saw Zahn today. Oh shit, he is there. No, Zahn, go back to work. Go back to work, Zahn. What does she want? She's probably getting nervous. She's definitely getting nervous. There's no doubt. Definitely getting nervous. Oh boy. All right. I might have missed. All right, Albert, that's on me, man. And then Jason Gutierrez, I think, just sent me a message. Just request 20 from me, Jason. That's on me. That's on me. You're going down. Going down. She's got her Cleveland Browns jersey on, though, so she got her Browns jersey on. Basically, it's basically what their jersey is. No, they're orange. No. Is it bad? Is it me? Oh, boy. Let me go down here. That's incredible. All right, so for those of you that don't know, Allie's got a different boot. It's called an Allie boot. It does have a handle. This one kind of does too, if you think about it.
It's like when a dress has pockets. It's just that much better.
All right, who you got? I'll tell you what, right now, this is not going to be good for me. So once this is done, I'm done. I'm heading out. There's no way you guys can keep me around. No way.
Yeah.
There's not. I'm telling you.
There's not a way at all.
There's not. All right.
There's no way.
A for Allie, M for Mitch.
All right. M for Mitch, S for salami.
Salami and cheese is good.
Name something you drink on a hot summer day. Salami.
Would have been a better answer. I'm not going to lie, though. If you saw somebody drinking salami on a hot summer day, I'd have a lot of other questions. All right, let's do this. Dude, this is not going to be good. All right, Chugs, I need you to hold it down on the mic.
You've heard of Baja Blast. Now Baja Salam.
You're reaching.
3, 2, salami. Who you got? M for Mitch, A for Allie. You can put B for barefoot if you'd like. We always accept S for salami as well. Oh, a little turn by Allie. Down the final stretch. Mitch, you disgusting animal. You absolute pig.
Oh, man. I totally salam that one down. That looks like you tried to chug salami on a hot summer day. Oh, foot. I'll see you Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Celtics.
Celtics.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but Celtics on Thursday.
I think she was kicking a Mavs ass.
Honestly, you can't see my foot or her last name, but this is kind of how it went. That's exactly how it went.
Ed, you're 300.
2.
You're 200.
Dose. Though, Ed, I'll say this. If Ed does it, if you hit the gong again, we gotta offer a good deal. My problem is my boots are done. My boots are done walking for the day. I guess Ed gets another jersey.
We'll do either that, or we could do a jersey giveaway in honor of Ed.
Or we could do a jersey giveaway in honor of Ed. Ed, if you're trying to do that, that's up to you, man. Jason, I just sent you that money. That's on me. Yep, that's on me. Also, Gunny, shout out to you, bro. Gunny frickin' won $440. Who you got in the NBA Finals? Celtics, Mavs. I'm actually devastated that I'm not here for the first game. I'm gonna be with my buddies, which will be fun. But like being in the city, I know that the game's not in Dallas. It's a little bit different.
Yeah,
I think it's a little bit different. A lot of Celtics, man. Navman, you still owe me one. What do you mean I owe you one? What do I owe one for you, Navman? I need to see. I don't understand how that's possible. Zon, I think you've been hanging out with Navman too long.
Did you carry the 2?
I literally don't understand how Navman thinks. Navman, I did a beer bong. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You're about to get audited by Jack.
Yeah, it's fine. The only thing I can come up with is Navman sent in 100 today. And because I wore his jersey yesterday, I don't know.
That's a steep slope we're going down.
Wow,
the case.
There's a lot of S's in that sentence right there. If that's the case, I owe a boot for Zon every day. Even on my off days. Alex is like, what do you want for breakfast? I'm like, just give me a boot.
Crash Dog wants to know, when is the next Zoom going to be?
Next Zoom would be next Wednesday. So
He said from yesterday. Navman said you owe him one from yesterday.
You didn't watch the show yesterday. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't think I owe him one from yesterday.
He didn't bang on yesterday's show?
No.
Oh, yeah. You can't carry it over.
No. Is that what you're doing? You're carrying it over? No.
That's like saying, actually, my team won last night because I shot a 3 in my driveway this morning and I made it.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know, man.
You might think the Timberwolves aren't in the finals, but Anthony Edwards made 2 dunks right after the game.
So they're saying that I said that if he bangs today, that I would carry it over. That I don't know.
I wasn't here, so I don't know.
I actually don't know. And Trace isn't here either. Now I'm questioning it. I'll tell you this, I can't do a boot. So there's no way I'm gonna be able to do a boot right now. Absolutely no way. I'll go check the tape. If I'm wrong, Nabman, if I'm wrong.
You be giving these deals, Mitch.
I don't remember if I did. That's my problem. My problem is I don't remember. All right, Nabman, if I did say that, I will check the film.
Stoffel, I wasn't here yesterday. I don't know.
Somebody said give it to Marsh.
Marsh isn't even here.
Yeah, that's true. I'll check the tape. And if I was wrong, I'll make up for it Monday. After a bender of a weekend at a bachelor party. That's disastrous. I can't do it right now. I'm telling you right now. Can't do it right now, which means I should probably get out of here. Though, we are 4 likes away from a spot here for our boot. And I don't really want it to go to waste. So, we got to get 4 more likes. We're going to give 1 spot away on the boot. And then I think it's time for the Bon Voyage. Bon Voyage. All right. Jeremy.
Let me message Trace and see what he says.
He's not going to remember. I'll go back and I'll look. We'll see. All right. Whoever spams Raiders the most, I'm going to put you on the boot here. Whoever gives me the most Raiders down below, you're going to go on the boot. And then, I'll tell you what, man. We're pretty damn close to being able to auction this bad boy off.
Pretty damn close.
Pretty damn close, man. I'll tell you what. Tom Zagir. I got to watch the skit. Oh, man. There's a lot coming in right now. I'm going to give this one to... you know what? I don't care if you guys don't like this or not. I'm going to give it to Ed Robbins.
Ed Robbins.
If there's anybody that deserves it, it's frickin' Ed Robbins, man.
A.K.A. Red Robin.
Yum. Well, I think that's that time of the day. The next time you guys will see me live here on the show, it will be Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to a bachelor party. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you still want to be able to hang out with like some of the Chat Sports crew, we're going to be live on our Celtics channel, and we're going to be live on our Mavericks channel on Thursday. Make sure you subscribe, show them some love. They're going to have some fun. If any breaking news happens, Jeremy's got you covered. He'll go live here, and I'll try to zoom in. I don't know who the producer will be. That'll be kind of fun to see. But hold it down while I'm gone.
Allie could produce.
She could. She can now. She can. All right. Peace out. I'll see you guys Monday. I'm out of here.
Go Salami.